Extra, extra, read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. We gon' come and see about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra, read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. Find out nothing sweet about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra, read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. We gon' come and see about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra, read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. Find out nothing sweet about it.
Look, mile like 3-6 pulled up, ski trip, cold winter. All my eating good, I remember when we had no dinner. West side, east side, no side, both sides with me. Check, coming, check, leaving flex season 12, come and get me. Gil, the run around, high speed, texting all the big bags. Bending corners, bending rules, bending necks, Gil, the whiplash. Slide through, hot knife, warm butter storm, gutter drain lane. Young man, old habit, still at it, tryna let my chain hang. True story, new story, 2-story, condo, B&B. 4 bath, 1 me, no key, like I did a B&E. Being me, so good, so hood, so not worried about it. 250,000 new views, old news, know you probably heard about it. Extra, extra, read about it. Headline, word around town, flexing. Ballin' on my course, so I ain't worried about nobody out of bounds, stressing. Feeling like Hercules, murder these ain't a problem to me. Tried to tell the maid service don't come unless you bring it condoms to me.
Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra, read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. We gon' come and see about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra, read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. Find out nothing sweet about it. Moving, shaking, coming down, tipping, stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming.
Guys, listen up. As you get older, the best way to continue to look young, exuberant, and vibrant is to continue to take care of your skin. That's why I'm excited to have Teej Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. You heard me talk about them before, and you're going to continue to hear me talk about them because I believe in their products and the positive impact that they have on every man's life. Teej Hanley makes taking care of your skin so easy. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing that you don't. Every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. Lapeef family, I must admit, skincare wasn't always something I always focused on, but since I started using this system, I've seen improvements in the way my skin looks and feels. And you don't have to take my word for it. They have over 5,000 5-star reviews on their website from satisfied customers from around the world. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer, and a PM moisturizer. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teej Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off retail price, the ability to customize your box, pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. And because Teej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click that first link in the description and you'll get 30% off the first box plus the free gift. Seriously, that's an amazing deal. Even though it's too early, as I often say, it's never too late. Click that link and get started today. It's go time. What's going on, family? Welcome to King Talk on the Lapeef Network. Let me go ahead and introduce the crew. We got Trigger Mike, Sir Hale, Shannon Walls, Luis, B. Matt, Purple Pill Pod, Pink, Alpha, me and myself on Lapeef JR. Welcome to King Talk on the Lapeef Network. What's going on, family? How y'all doing?
Oh, good, bro.
Blessed and highly favored, man.
Double that.
Y'all sound dry as hell. How y'all doing, man?
Right on, big brother, right on.
How you doing good, bro?
I'm ready to go.
Man, they say motherfucker tired. T-I-D-E, motherfucker tired. It's Tuesday, man. I almost feel like it's Monday, but it's Tuesday. It's King Talk. You know what it is.
I just want to know where Sir Hale got that shirt from. He looking like a kingpin. About to address the distros. Like, I know y'all done messed up, right?
You know, Sir Hale just came from a new casting. Allegedly, he's supposed to be the new James St. Patrick. So,
Indeed.
They call me Ghost. He'll be back next season.
That's funny. That's a funny dark skin joke. All dark skin people have had the name Ghost or Smoke, the nickname, at least once in their life.
Hot damn.
Or Black and whatever your first name is. I've been Black Mike to like 3,000 people.
Black Mike.
So, Mike, is that what we need to call you now for our own Black Mike?
Absolutely not. I'm a grown man now.
Open floodgates now. Now we know your secret, Black Mike.
Mm-hmm.
But there it is. Well, it's good to see you, gentlemen, this evening. Night. It's nighttime already. It's night. So it's evening, early night. If you guys just tuning in, make sure you hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the sponsor, T-Channel, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men. 30% off along with a free gift. That link is in the description. Shout out to all my green gang that's in the chat right now. Let me see who we got in there. We got Jolie, Brother Grundy, Treehouse. What else we got in there? City Boy, I-313. The AP, the accountability partner. Shout out to all the Green Gang. If you want to become part of the Green Gang, that link is pinned to the top of the chat. Let's go ahead and do so. Please share the stream. This is going to be an excellent show. It's good to see everybody in attendance. Hit that like button, family. Hit that like button. All right, here we go. Y'all ready for the first topic?
Let's get it.
Let's do it.
First topic tonight is I'm trying to build with you. I am trying to build with you. Let me go ahead and play this clip.
Idea, I'm trying to build with you. If you got questions, I'll answer them. But if everything you say towards the idea is negative, you gotta know I'm not dealing with you after that. Your negativity is only ricocheting back your way because the idea is still gonna get accomplished. Sad part is, most of the time you get the negativity from the ones closest to you that you're trying to build with.
All right, there we go. That's the context for that. I'm trying to build with you. I'm gonna go ahead and go with B. Madden first. What are your thoughts about that, sir?
Letting it marinate for a second. I mean, yeah. Any real man comes in with a plan.
Went out, B. Madden.
Can you hear me?
Let me go out for y'all too. Well,
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right, great. I believe any real man or grown man is going to come into a situation or relationship with a plan.
I don't know, B. Madden. That one kind of freezing up a lot. I would just say, just go back.
I actually hear him perfectly fine.
Oh, you do? Maybe it might be on my.
Just for me. I don't know.
Everybody else hear him?
Everybody else hear me okay?
Okay.
Yeah, I hear him fine.
You good now.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Go be mad and then go to Luis. I'm going to go ahead and troubleshoot on my end.
All right, cool. No, I believe any real man, grown man at that, typically will have a plan when he walks into any relationship or any situation, especially with a woman that they feel very, very serious about, that they intend to build a future with. Building with them is a key factor. That's why he's with you. He's with you because he wants to build something with you. He wants to build a family. He wants to build a legacy. He wants to build some type of generational wealth, children, all the above. So he has a plan. You just have to make sure that man, is somebody that you vetted, properly on your end as a woman, that his ideals align with yours. And for the men, I mean, she's got to be the right kind of woman for you, man. Like if you're in a dating stage, you know what kind of attitude she has, what type of temperament she has. You know if she's in line with your goals and your dreams, or she's just another pretty face. I believe that we can pick up things pretty early on in the courting stage, and I don't think we need to lie to ourselves. What happens is a lot of us get the kitty early, and then some guys fall in love. Some guys get distracted or off track, and then they fall in love with the coochie instead of falling in love with the woman and seeing her for who she truly is. So if you want to build with somebody, you gotta build with the right person.
All right, go ahead, Louise.
Yeah, that was good. One of the things I'm gonna say is that the most important decision you'll ever make, especially choosing a partner, is vital. Choosing the right partner is vital. One of the most important decisions you'll make, because they'll either will want to build with you, or they're there to destroy whatever you're trying to build. It's like the equivalency of you trying to build the sandcastle and they just keep coming with a bucket of water, splashing it over. You have to start all over again. And be in alignment in what your future looks like and what those things are entail, like family, finances, vacation, where you're going to live geographically, right? Those are very vital. And I would probably ask, women that you're probably vetting, like, what does you building or aligning yourself with a man look like for you? Like, are you willing to learn? Are you a good listener? Are you attentive? Do you pay attention to details, right? You want somebody who understands your mission and where you're going, but at the same token, you want that partner to be reciprocal. They understand that they got to play a role in the relationship. So the building process and having somebody with you also has to have the right state of mind. That negativity shit, that like nagging, always complaining, always trying to shoot something down and being negative and never trying to find a positive outcome out of it, that will slow down your progress very, very fast. You want somebody who's always going to be uplifting, especially even in the hard moments, because they're gonna come. It's only inevitable, but you always want them to kind of come with a good spirit at that. So I yield there.
Okay, let me get Alfie in there. What are your thoughts? I'm trying to build with you.
I got a layered answer because of just my own personal experience, me being an older cat, and be doing a lot of coaching and mentorship. I think for the most part, men need to know who they are first. I think people try to live to a standard that just sounds good, you know what I mean? But everybody has a different language of how to be treated. For instance, like there's some dudes who would quote unquote baddies, right? And she might not be the submissive, she may not, but for him, he cool with that. He's cool with the look of it. So that's okay with him. And there's other guys who they may not want a woman who's that attractive, but as long as she does this. So you got to know what it is that you like, what your program is. And sometimes people just kind of go off how they feel. And that's how come they're unsuccessful, because they feel more for this one. So they go about this one differently. And then this one, they go about that one differently. So when you truly know yourself, then you can kind of date accordingly. Also too, you got to understand what part in phase of your life because it's gonna change. You gotta be open to that. So what you think you may want at 18, you know, people evolve. So you gotta understand that. I'm 42. And so what I wanted at 40 was different. You know what I'm saying? I got different needs, different tastes, different things that's going to help me be successful. You know what I'm saying? So I need a certain type of partner for that, you know. And what she looked like, who knows? You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm mature enough I've had my taste of everything. So I really don't feel like missing that. I wouldn't be missing out on anything. And I would want some substance. So, you know, but, you know, you got to have fun. And just figure out yourself and what it's like. You don't know what you like until you figure out what you don't like. And you figure out what you don't like by, you know, your experience. So that's what I say.
All right, let me go ahead and go to Sir Hale. I'm trying to build with you. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, that's a dope question. I said like this: if a man who's going to do something is going to do it with or without somebody, he going to do it. Like for a woman, if a man gives you an opportunity to be a part of that, that means he really sees something with you. So if you see a guy and or a lady has a guy and he tells you, I'm trying to build something with you, what he's saying is, I want you to invest in that, because that's what most men are looking for. We want to know that the woman we spend our time with, our energy and effort with, is willing to invest in the lifestyle we're trying to create for her. And it's an opportunity for her to show her worthiness for all the things that kind of man provides. So ladies need to really understand this. A man who just wants you to be a fixture, you can be replaced. Like you're not a permanent fixture if he can just put you in his life and there's no investment he requires from you. But men of substance who are trying to build something, they give a woman an opportunity to invest as well. And he gave us his level of seriousness about her based off of her seriousness about him and investing in his dream to build something with her. So I think all men are like that. If she's willing to build, a man is willing to build with her.
All right. Purple Pill Pod, what are your thoughts about it? I'm trying to build with you.
Okay. Well, I kind of feel what Afi was saying. Like, I really think experience makes it way easier. Once you have a lot of experience, you're able to not even worry about stuff or just focus on yourself. You're not gonna have to worry about choosing really. Like, you're gonna be able to discern really easily which girls are right, which ones are not, and you're not gonna have to deal with a lot of the bullshit. Also, I don't think that I don't think that a woman should ever build a man up. I've been reading a lot of Stephen Speaks, and he really talks a lot about how a lot of women are on a traumatic cycle today, where they put all their love into one man early on in their life, their first love, and they put everything into it and they lose it, it hurts really bad. And when it hurts really, really bad, they want to go into their next relationships with the leverage in some way, shape, or form, whether it's with sex or with money or in some way. They just want the leverage. And I think a lot of women today, especially young women, are on those traumatic cycles. And until they go to therapy or something and get over those things, they can't do build a man, because one of them is going to end up cheating. Either the guy's going to end up cheating after she builds him up because she was disrespecting him the whole time he was down, and once he's up, he's going to move on. Or she's going to end up cheating on him because she sees herself as better than him later on. And she never really cared about him like that first guy that she really loved. So it really just depends on age brackets, really. Like, I really think it's the age thing. Like, different generations aren't dealing with this. Y'all are OGs in this. Like, I really respect being with all y'all. I'm taking notes and everything because I really respect being with all y'all and learning from y'all and, you know, getting to be on this panel. But for my generation, the younger people, I'm 32, and I think definitely 25 and under, it's a whole new ball game. And I don't think that unless you're like that girl's first love, I don't think that you should be trying to build up. They're going to be negative no matter what, if they aren't over their traumas.
All right, Trigger Mike, what are your thoughts about it? I'm trying to build with you.
All right. So firstly, I thought the context of the whole short was business related. I really thought it was business. If you play it back, I was like, how we get on relationship? But since everybody commented on relationship,
hold on. I kind of want to run it back now, just for context purposes. Go ahead.
If I come to you with an idea, I'm trying to build with you. If you got questions, I'll answer them. But if everything you say towards the idea is negative, you gotta know I'm not dealing with you after that. Your negativity is only ricocheting back your way because the idea is still gonna get accomplished. Sad part is most of the time you get the negativity from the ones closest to you that you're trying to build with.
B man, you this is your fault. This is your fault, bro. But I think it works in both.
You talk about normally talking about women in relationships and trying to build with you and all that. Yes, that he say either way, but you could have been taken either way.
Yeah, it could have. So even on the business side, yeah, he was right. I mean, you can't build with everyone. And what I think people need to understand from a business perspective is that's actually a sign. So you've been given signs and you've been given divine purpose to accomplish whatever it is you're supposed to accomplish in this life. And it's you, your feelings, and your attachment to the past that keeps getting you in trouble, knowing that you can't build with everybody. I've used this examples a few times on this show. Ja Morant is now going through a period in his life where he realized he cannot build his empire with the people from his past and the people he chooses to entertain. They will get him in trouble and they will keep him on a path of losing endorsements and painting him in a bad light. Just show me what the way Ja Morant was acting without knowing anything about him. I'd have thought he was a regular thug from the street. This dude grew up in a 2-parent household, doing like it was just weird, right? So that shows you on the business end that you cannot build with everyone and you need to take those cues seriously. But on the relationship side, so Purple Pill, you said that a woman should not build a man up. I disagree. I do disagree. And that is a modern thing that women say it and they use those those old sayings, he'll walk right out of my life and all of that. And we kind of let that come into the mainstream as real ideology. That goes directly against every religious text and even a woman's purpose in life is to help. So if we want to substitute the word build for help, then sure. But that's not really women's problem today. Women just have a bad habit of building up the wrong man for the wrong reasons. Can we agree? They build up.
They cannot discern. The lack of fathers, lack of all types of male figures, they cannot discern at
They
all
don't
on their
let
own.
their father choose that man. All right. They would have been reaping the benefits of everything he would have accomplished well into his 40s. All right. The women that do that reap the benefits. We do not have any greater example today of women who reap the benefits from a man better than a woman who stuck with a man throughout it all, built with him, sought opportunities for him, let him go first. She fed him first. She gave him his plate. That woman owns all the wealth. Any way you want to look at it, that woman wins. So we don't have any evidence to the contrary. That's why, a lot of people I know from, my show say they get a lot of education from us when we all come together and we talk. That's why I wanted to make sure I kind of combat that because I know that's a very popular narrative. And I feel like we need to just kind of tear it down to say, sisters, you need to get with the right man. Your whole purpose in life is to build with or build up your man and never tear him down. My mic is muted.
I just want to say it's just the new generation, the 25 and under. They're fucked up in the head because of what they saw growing up with the iPhone in their hand.
Oh yeah,
they're not. They're different breed, and because of that, I don't think it works with them. It's just different. But that's the only reason why I think it's an age difference.
You know what I'll say too. Everything with the new generation, because you're right, that is 100% correct. With them, everything is upside down. So that I've noticed myself. But with them, everything they think now, they believe to be true, delay. It's like a fuse that doesn't go off until like a 10-year delay. Because right now, I'm 36 years old. Every woman that was saying all of this at 26 is now singing a different tune. They hate my page, by the way. They hated it a few years ago. Now they're asking me for advice and just commenting. Slick thing. Look. The funny thing, I said on one girl's post just yesterday, maybe 10, 12 years ago, I said she's going to need to cook for her husband one day. And we went on like a 3-day curse out battle. Yesterday, she was like cooking something because she's on vacation saying, this will be me and my kid in a few years. I was like, oh, well, look at that. I was right the whole time. So everything that they're saying, they just don't realize how delusional they are. And they'll come around in a few years. But unfortunately, it might be too late. That's the bad part, I think. Hit the womp womp. Hit the womp womp. Yeah, womp womp womp. But
can I ask them real quick too?
Go ahead. Somebody had a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask something before we got too off of it because I forgot my version to the women that want to build. It's simple. A woman needs to balance her ego to figure out what she want and what she need, and then when she need it, because that's what women will go with what they need. What they want, miss what they need, then what they need later on. So they got to balance that ego to know, okay, this is an opportunity. This is this isn't gonna come around often. So some people had that discernment because they know what they want early, whether it was how they was raised or just how they feel. Some don't, but if women can just kind of go off of, balance what they want and need at the right time, then they'd be all right. So that was just my take on that.
I'll say this to that point though. It's up to us men to stop giving these women too much too soon. Like a lot of us, we give women way too much of our money, our time, our attention, our protection. They don't deserve it. And a girl gets that enough, and that becomes her template. She thinks she deserves that. So women do have to do that. They have to figure out what they want and need. But us brothers, we got to stop elevating women too soon before they put the work in to prove that they deserve what we have to offer.
I completely agree. I'm telling you, man, and Purple Pill, no, I don't know everybody else, but when you coach, it opens your mind to a whole different, you know what I'm saying? Because when I started YouTube, I thought I knew. I started YouTube 5 years ago, and just that 5 short is a whole nother thing that I wouldn't even, just hearing everybody's stories and coming from different backgrounds, but yet they all going through the same shit. So it's kind of cool, you know what I mean? Seeing people outside the circle and connecting the dots and everything.
But I also think
that's part of understanding, knowing yourself, having that level of discernment, and knowing exactly who you are, where you come from, and where the hell you're going. You can't have a plan if you don't have any direction. So if you have your stuff together and you know where you want to go, it makes it a lot easier because you've kind of painted that roadmap for your partner and for the woman that you want to spend that time with and want to build with. Because once you have a story behind it, once you have a blueprint behind it, it doesn't take as much for a woman to get behind it if you're with the right one.
All right, let me get Hank up in there. Hank, what are your thoughts about it, sir? I'm trying to build with you.
Shit. Fellas, man, find you a woman who's going to be a part of your dreams instead of that woman that's going to cause you nightmares. That's the first thing I'm going to tell a man. Because it's a lot of goddamn Freddy Cougars out there, and they roaming down Elm Street. Leave them heifers alone. So if she's not trying to build with you, man, leave at the restaurant. Like Sir Hell, she don't deserve your time and energy, what you bring. But you got to find that right lady, man, and find that one who has morals and shows she could be responsible and trustworthy. And you might decipher through a lot of heifers, a lot of chicks, a lot of tackheads. You may have to. But if that's gonna be that right woman for you, gonna help you, like you said, help you build and whatever it is you're trying to build, whether it's your financial wealth, whether it's your emotional or your mental. Whatever you're trying to build, do it. Whether it's a business, allow her to be a part of that business and give her an assignment, no matter how small or big it is. And then sit back and watch and see if she's able to live up to the plan. Now, if she is, hey, she's got a chance. Put her on your team. Matter of fact, even do one even better. Make her your wife if you're not married.
All right, let me go to Shan. What are your thoughts about it? I'm trying to build with you. Let me see the video, Shan. I'll run it back real quick.
If I come to you with an idea, I'm trying to build with you. If you got questions, I'll answer them. But if everything you say towards the idea is negative, you gotta know I'm not dealing with you after that. Your negativity is only ricocheting back your way because the idea is still gonna get accomplished. Sad part is, most of the time you get the negativity from the ones closest to you that you're trying to build with.
That's I don't know. You know, wordplay matters to me, and so that whole build with I think is bullshit to begin with in and of itself, because a lot of people try to use that as partnership. And they'll if you start going out there talking about build, you know, if you got an idea and you go to your woman and she's negative, you know, I want you to build with me. No, I don't necessarily want you to build with me. I'm a build, and I need something that you need to do. I got something that, like, I think brother just mentioned, give her a task. And I think it was Trigger Mike that said last week, you got to be careful with the words that you use today with some women, because they take it out of context, or they use it wrong, or they misunderstand. And build with you, or I'm trying to build with you, will be looked at as equality. And you are trying to do what I'm doing, and I'm trying to do what you're doing, and we're trying to do it together. And that way, when we get to the finish line, we both are victors. And that could be really problematic later on, especially how women like take things. So just to be honest with you, and just to keep it short and quick on this one, I don't even like the term build with you to begin with. I wish men would stop using that. I wish people would just remove that from the, and that's another, and I was having a conversation. I think it was in Lapeef Facebook today. It was either Lapeef Facebook or another Facebook group. And somebody was talking about, they were talking about the disparity between ages, you know, older men and young women getting together and building with each other. And the brother was saying something about, I don't want my daughter to date an older guy because I want her to build with her man. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, you setting yourself up for failure, because that whole build with you thing is what we've been trying to do since the Cosby days. And that just really don't work. So I don't like build with you to begin with. I'm trying to build with you. I need you to, I got some tasks that I need you to do, because I'm trying to build something and I need some things done. So I'm gonna just leave it at that.
All right.
OG, triple OG. See you, Shan.
Anybody else want to add on to it? Luis, like you trying to come off the mic.
And let me do a quick disclaimer. This is my diplomatic advice. My personal shit is different. I'm not trying. I don't need to put people with my narrative, but this
hard for me. It's hard for me to disagree with Shan when he used a quote from me in the damn. I was like, damn.
that did it, right?
Brought out the receipts and everything.
So you do have to be careful. You absolutely have to be careful how you phrase things, because even like at the beginning, I was like, no, Shan, no. But then you use my own words against me. So build with you has absolutely been taken out of context by women. And I think one of the things is that you know what's funny is that we always take women at their word today, which we should not do. Every time they complain about something, they're actually saying something else. They're actually saying something else. One of the biggest, most blaring, when I decipher what women are saying, they're really upset that they don't have someone they can follow. That's really it. They don't want to lead anything. They don't want to take the blame for anything. They are upset that they don't trust enough, or it might not even be a man's fault. It may be their fault alone, but they've ruined their outlook on men and their vision of anything to the point where they can't trust any man because they've been messing with the wrong ones for so long. So we got to understand what they're really saying. So when you say build with you, she likely is going to take that as some kind of equality statement. I've noticed that women are looking for a man to be under. They're not really trying to be beside. They're looking for a man to be under. Right. And it's funny because once I really came into my own as a grown man, and all of the pushback that I was getting in my 20s, it was that announcement that I was about to get married, which made every girl from the past say, well, I'm ready. Made every girl from the past want to fall at my feet. Ow. You see what I'm saying? So they're all looking for a man to be under. We just need to decipher what they're saying. So I can't even push back on Shane.
Trig, I got some pushback for you. Come on, fellas, let's just be real. Most women ain't helping nobody until she gets overweight until she has to do something to keep a man. Most women ain't looking to help nobody. If you think about it, if women were so helpful, then how come they demand so much from men initially? If women are inherently helpful, the reality is women love to come off with I was helping the wrong man. No, you was sleeping with the wrong man. You didn't help him build anything. And then as soon as you got upset with him and he had your kid, you put him on child support. You didn't help that dude. You helped yourself to some penis, some protection, and to some provision. You do know what I do, right? You help men once you start to recognize that your options run out, that they're not as cute as you used to be, and now you got to do some work because you done found Jesus, you done found the Lord, and now you got to do something right to keep a man. Let's keep it real. Most women are not helpful until they absolutely have to be.
Absolutely. I mean,
Sir,
yeah, go
how
ahead.
can you say that though when you've seen at my studio my own girl do the contracts for me and all types of help at my studio for me?
Do we want to go into this?
Not.
I mean, I'm just saying she's young.
Yeah,
like
you're
she's
muted,
only
Sir Hill.
23.
Well, I don't think Sir Hill is wrong at all. I just think it doesn't apply to all women, because you basically you kind of alluded to my first point where I said the women that did it the right way the first time, they're ultimately the ones that reap the benefits. Every other woman is just capping. She knew exactly what she was doing when she didn't settle down in her 20s, and she didn't help the right man. And now she's trying to make up for it. But you're right, with that fake help statement. I'm ready to be a what? You're right. They don't really help anybody. They really just help themselves. You're right.
Man, Trick, I'll be asking these. And sort of to your point, you got a young one who's caring, who's malleable, who really loves you, right? That's what you have, and it's a beautiful thing. A whole lot of guys don't find somebody who's helpful, who's a woman who's willing to do that. That's just most of them. The second thing is, a lot of these women be talking about, I want a leader. He got to be strong. And I'll ask them the simple question: what was the last leader you've been with, and why aren't you two together anymore? Most of them can never give me a reason. They can never tell me their last leader is because women say they want something that they really don't want. Most women are not ready to submit until they have to, unless they listen to the Trigger Mike show each morning and they learn how to submit from an early age, right? But for the most part, women aren't. Submission for most women has to be forced, especially if it's not taught early. So they're not conditioned to be helpful until they see a clear benefit to them doing so. That's the world we live in.
Yeah, but also one thing too to note is that even the cycle of just dating and meeting men, right? It's all wrong. Like the whole culture and because you meet someone, you talk to them for 6 months, you break up, you rinse, wash, repeat, and then you're on this perpetual roller coaster, back and forth, right? That can never ever transition into marriage, because once you get into a marriage, you're going to treat it just like all your previous relationships, because you don't know what it takes to be in something long term, right? It's this constant on and off, on and off, on and off. It's like it's like the rides at Disneyland. You're trying them all up to a point where you realize that this is the last stop. And when you get on it, you're treating it like your previous rides. It's short, right? So I just don't see how the current culture of today, right now, could ever promote anything long term when everything is always short term. Everything is short term.
Luis, I think a lot of that is from people that are sitting there like in the roller coaster, like they're a passenger instead of the one that's actually the driver, of the ride, the person that's at the front, the person that actually has control of the wheel themselves. You can't be passive in this life, especially if you're going to be a man that's supposed to have a plan, that's supposed to be building with this woman or what have you. When you're out here dating, you have to have an end goal in mind, whether that's to get the draws today, whether that's to date this woman for whatever reason you have, or for marriage. You have to know what that end goal is going to be. Some are for right now, some are for a little bit, and some are for long term. But you have to have a level of, like I said earlier, discernment. And I think a lot of that comes with experience. You knowing who you are and you knowing what you need. And you got to find somebody that complements you and your needs at the end of the day. You know, when you're talking about partnering with somebody or building with somebody or having somebody do tasks for you within your business, you got to know the things that you don't have time to do. And you have to build that around her skill set, her strengths, to have her do those tasks. And if she's not willing to do those tasks, she's not ready to be your woman, period. So
yeah, you know, it's funny. It's funny, B-Man, you mentioned the person in the passenger seat. You know, there's a lot of co-pilots out there that once the plan is landed, they act like they built the plane. They act like they worked on the engine. They act like they navigated half the trip. And one of the issues that a lot of guys do is that they give the credit what credit's not due. They give a lot of credit, all because of they want to have some sort of harmonious, you know, peace at home, or they want to make it seem like the woman was always there for me. You see it every time a brother gives an award or receives an award and he goes up, I want to thank my wife who's there with me. You know, no, she wasn't there. She just cooked, really, and then gave you some head and answered all your questions, but you did all the work. And so, you know, there's so many co-pilots. Yeah, they're not in the gym shooting. They're not at practice. They sleep while you in the gym shooting. And so think about it. Think about a lot of the entrepreneurial endeavors, kings that's watching the show tonight. All the kings that's watching the show. Think about a lot of the small or large entrepreneurial endeavors that you've taken. And you got your girl involved. Maybe you pitched her an idea, or maybe something happened. Oftentimes you got to think about who's the innovator when it comes to this particular business, whether it's fashion, or whether you guys are creating a Shopify site, or whether you guys are doing some real estate, or whether you want to start a Turo rental business, or whatever it is. Who's the innovator? Oftentimes it's you. All the new ideas come from you. All the execution on everything that needs to happen comes from you. All the creativity comes from you. And you really just have an unfireable employee. You have somebody that's with you that you just can't let go. So you got to find a place where she can get in and fit in. But nobody sees the behind the scenes stuff. The family, all they see is that y'all working together. But really, you're the one up late at night. You're the one watching the YouTube videos, learning how to do something. You're the one that's reading all the articles and reading the owner's manuals and learning how to code and learning how to do all the hard shit. And she's just waiting for a task to be done, to be given. I'm simply saying, forget the build with you talk. Get rid of that. Take ownership of all the work you're doing, all the hard work that you've invested in a particular thing, and say, this is what I built and you helped. That's what I want the young kings to start doing nowadays, because the whole it's us and we worked on this together and we was in there. They start to get this grandiose idea that they did more than they actually did. And it's all because you planted that seed in her head. Stop doing that.
So
Shannon, give co-pilots and passengers more credit than they're due.
So Shannon, you're not gonna allow the women to have a hard head and tool belt or nothing, huh?
No. And if anybody needs proof that Shannon's telling the truth, they
get credit.
Yeah. If you need proof as to him being right, women think they deserve more. That's why they think they deserve so much when they leave. It's because you overvalued them the entire time. I think our forefathers and everybody, I mean, listen, that was so impactful, because that's something that I say I've watched in my culture, the men do that. They glorify their wives as mothers. They glorify their wives as wives. They don't really give praise anywhere other than that, because it has nothing to do with them. All right. And if you notice, if you overpraise a woman's job, if you overpraise the things that doesn't have to do with you, she will put those things over you. If you overpraise the job comes first, not you or the children. That is how fickle women are and how easily they are swayed to start prioritizing things other than their purpose and what they were meant for. So I really need the young kings to listen to what Shan said, because that's very, very impactful. And just in case you were wondering, if the woman is going to stay with you or not. Those are the only men that women stay with. Run the numbers. Assertive men are the only men that women stay with. If you give it to her straight, you have a better chance of keeping her. My mic is muted.
Guys, just tuning in. Welcome to King Talk. Make sure you hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Got a few super chats that came through. Alpha Villains $20 says salute to the panel and my bros. Alfie Kingdom and Sergio Purple Pill Pod. Bigger at $10 says you 36 again. Come on, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you talking about you, Mike?
You talking about me?
Campbell $10 says King Talk salute. I want to say thank you to the people that has donated to the platform. If you haven't, all we asking for is you just hit the like button and also make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please feel free to share the stream as well. We got some more gems that's going to be dropped. Moving on to our next topic of the night is territorial and jealousy does not equal love. Here we go.
A woman is jealous and displaying jealousy just because a woman is starting fights with other women and running other women off. That don't mean she loves you, bro. People are just territorial. But territorial and jealousy does not equal love. So you come into a situation, you dating a woman or whatever, you allowing her to trip and cause drama with the other people in your life. Why do you think that means she loves you? No, human beings are just territorial. You ever see these TikToks or these Instagram social media reels or videos where it'll be a father, right? And the father will be holding the daughter and the mother would be right there next to him, and the mother would touch the father and the little baby will spaz out or look at the mom all crazy and slap the hand of the mom. Babies do that. Little girls do that. That's babies. People are just territorial, but that don't mean they love. That means that I want this toy all to myself. That don't mean that somebody loves you, though.
All right, here we go. Territorial and jealousy does not equal love. I'm going to go to you first, Alfie. What are your thoughts about that?
Drake preaching, he preaching facts. Because both those feelings are easy to manipulate. So you can kind of figure out what's really going on, you know what I'm saying, when you're in these situations. A lot of guys, they don't have an ego in check, so they don't really know. Like for example, like a dude, he can meet a chick. And so say he meets a woman and she takes him out on the first date and pays, right? So a dude may be thinking, my game was tight. She was choosing hard, but no, some girls are just like that. Some girls just love like that. Like some girl, so it depends on the woman. It's not always you. You know what I mean? It takes a part of you brings out things to women, but just like certain women are just needy. It ain't because they love you or they own you. That's just, they like that with every dude. If you know somebody else that dealt with that woman, y'all go look at the check. She's saying the same shit to both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain women, they're just certain types. So, it's not love. It's neediness, and it's codependent relationships, and it's toxic shit that's keeping things together. A lot of people are addicted to toxic shit and don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't been exposed to nothing that wasn't toxic. You know what I mean? And they just been trained from their environment that toxic is normal. You know what I'm saying? Like a guy will be like, oh, it's just one of the days, I'm on the couch this evening. I don't know that type of vibe. I ain't never had to sleep on the couch before, but I know a lot of guys, that's like normal talk for them. You know what I mean? So that's my take.
All right. Go to Sir Hale. Territorial and jealousy does not equal love.
So I think it's a couple things. Number one, territorial and jealousy don't necessarily go hand in hand. I think that for most women are going to be territorial if they feel like they have something worth protecting. Now, this can be broken down in a couple different ways. Either she's territorial because she's got a man that she thinks has more options available to him than her, and she's insecure. And as a result of her being insecure, she's being very territorial because she's afraid he's going to leave her, right? Or it could actually be a result of jealousy. If it's the first one, then that just means she has work to do on herself. But that her being territorial is what women do. Women are protective of that which they love. They're fierce about those kind of things. But if that territorialism, that's not a word, but it sounds good. So I'm gonna keep on going. If that territorialism If it morphs into jealousy, then that becomes something different. It's not really about protecting you. It's about keeping you all to herself. And that's going to be something that's going to sabotage your work relationships, your family relationships, maybe business, right? She's going to go crazy because she wants you all to herself. So territorial doesn't mean it's jealousy, right? Territorial could just mean she's either insecure or she sees you as higher than her and you have other options available, and her insecurity makes her territorial that way because she doesn't trust you, right? I think that's what it is, but those are not the same things.
All right. Shan, what are your thoughts? Territorial and jealousy does not equal love.
Not much to say on this one, other than I think this is again one of those generational conversations, because I think a lot of the younger generation fellas, the younger men, are the ones that are even attracted to territorial and jealous women. That one of the words I wanted to put to rest was toxic. Remember how overused, that was one of the overused words the last couple of years. Toxic relationship is toxic. The guys that tolerate toxicity or want toxicity and get these women that's acting like that's my man and just getting jealous on every girl that looks at him, or they at the store, or they at a party, or or who's trying to talk to my guy, or is all on his phone and all of that kind of stuff. The guys that feel, oh man, shit, she like me. Okay, she cared because she's checking for that girl that was looking at me, or she want to make sure that ain't nobody gonna take her man. I think that's really guys that probably didn't have many men in their life, many strong, positive male role models in their life, and grew up with a whole lot of sisters and women in the family. It was a whole lot of women, a whole lot of female energy in his life. All his teachers was women. His grandma was there, his aunties, his mama, his sisters. And he saw all of that kind of stuff. And so when he became of age and he became an adult, he took all of that and expected that in his own relationships. I don't think this is why a lot of guys need to watch shows like King Talk, so you can understand how to move and be a little bit more stoic when it comes to these kind of situations, and get rid of women that introduce jealousy and territorialism in her relationship to try to act like that I only did that because I love you. Because the brother was right on the video. That ain't got nothing to do with love. You're not doing that because you love me. You're doing that because of you, or that's how you are, and you think that I want that. So, I mean, to a degree, I agree. It does not equal love. Territorial and jealousy does not equal love, but it is a behavior that I think a lot of young guys think is cute, but it's just going to turn into a big old problem later on.
Okay, I'm going to go to you, Trickle Mike. What are your thoughts? Territorial and jealousy does not equal love.
This is a problem with our youth, or most of us. While we were growing up in our youth, we thought this was a love. So putting those words together and saying that it does not equal love is dispelling a myth right away. This is what we think is love in our 20s, right? When we call a girl crazy, you have people like Cardi B putting lyrics together saying, he loves it, gotta argue with him because he loves a toxic chick, that type of stuff. So that is where all of this comes from. And Shan and Sir Hale were 100% right, but I got to use the word, Shan. It's toxic. It's absolutely toxic. It's insecure and it's immature. And the word I would like to add to it is that this is actually a form of manipulation. Women tend to do this, and men tend to do this in relationships, to isolate you from everybody they don't like or everybody they think will be detrimental to your relationship. You've seen it. And I don't like Tyler Perry movies, but you've seen this in just about some of his movies. The dude will go off because your sisters are talking sense to you or anything like that. It's like, I don't like her, so I'm going to trip. Every time she comes around, I'm going to start a fight. I'm going to just act like something's wrong with the microwave so we can leave, right? That is a form of manipulation. I was in a relationship like that, so I know on and off for 7 years straight, right? And a form of her manipulation was just so we could be isolated by ourselves, so she wouldn't have to deal with anybody she didn't like or anyone that made her insecure, she would just do that. She would behave like she was territorial or jealous about something in the situation, start fights, start disagreements, act like she was aggravated. And knowing that I loved her and I wanted to care for her and remove her from that situation, I would leave, which sometimes isolated me from my family and my closest friends who, make no mistake, are supposed to be friends with your significant other. That is the way it's supposed to be done. It's supposed to be a harmony. You are bringing this girl or that dude into your family. So it screams red flag when they don't want to be a part of that. They are removing you from something you hold dear. That's why I call it manipulation. My mic is muted.
Hey, can I answer
Trigger
that
Mike,
really quick?
and
Go
throw
ahead,
in this real quick. I'm curious as Trigger Mike, but you was in a relationship with her for 7 years. So was it a situation where when she did that, you thought, oh, that's my girl. She really give a fuck. She care about me.
She had that thunder head. That's what it is, Shannon. She had that thunder head.
So this is my college girlfriend. So it was I did not even think it was a problem, let's say the first 3 years. Then I graduated. Then I got a job now. And I'm trying to introduce her. She was 1 year behind me. I'm trying to introduce her, take her to work functions, just trying to level up in life. Like, yeah, this is gonna be my wife. Like trying to do it that way.
Trig.
That good cat gotta go to
him. Shan, let me answer for Trig. Let me say what he won't say. A lot of them crazy territorial women got good coochie, straight up. And the way that they manipulate you and make you not look at that is they'll do all that crazy stuff and throw it down like nobody else. And for a lot of dudes, it distracts you from how crazy. So Trigger Mike, come on, man. Let's be honest. You know why you stayed for 7 years. She was throwing that thing.
And she was bad.
Don't forget to take it to the company Christmas party, and she's like, "Well, who that bitch?"
And she was bad. Yep. So I mean,
she at the Christmas party, like, "Who that bitch? You work with
lying.
her?" I saw how she looked at you.
So we talked about this. We talked about this on Thursday. We said not only will they start a fight with everybody, make you leave, start a fight with you, they apologize with ass. That's how they apologize. That woman does not apologize with words. She knows exactly how to. She's just talking. Next thing you know, you're like, "Whoa, hey, woo!" All right.
Like, I forgive you for that. We can work through this. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be straight.
Every time.
You know what though? You know what? On a serious note, I thank God for those experiences, because the issue is that I only had to live it once, and I said on and off for 7 years. I tried to get rid of this lady a million times. She even, and I've told my wife this, so she knows, she even got upset. This lady was so territorial that the affirmation, that the revelation that I was engaged, she took it as a loss. That I'm no longer available. And up until the week that I was about to tie the knot and get married, this woman tried to destroy my relationship. So that's how territorial these women could be. And I needed that experience so I could teach here on King Talk and on the Trigger Mike show that you have to learn from these experiences. Thank God I didn't get a baby. I'm realistic about it, because I thought that woman was going to be my wife. I was raised correctly to say, all right, I already took her womb about 300,000 times, but I've been here this whole time. I'm going to marry her, yada, yada. I would have been divorced right now on child support with that lady. 100%. 100%.
Mike, he was dealing with them Freddy Cougars. God damn.
We've all done it, Hank.
Night crawlers.
That's why I'm drinking now.
Hey, Trig, that's real King Talk, bro.
It is.
All right, let me go ahead and get Purple Pill Pod in there. Territorial and jealousy does not equal love. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it doesn't at all. They're just two completely different things. Dr. David Buss talks a lot about jealousy in in a lot of his books, actually, and it's two completely different things for each sex. Like, men get jealous because we don't want our women sleeping around. Like, we're very territorial sexually and stuff, because we for thousands of years we couldn't tell if the kid was ours. So it's a very natural thing for men to be jealous and territorial and those type of things. It's very natural for women to be jealous also, because they're trying to protect their provisioning. They don't want their guy going and sleeping with other women, because she could lose her ability to have his provisioning in the future if he gets that other woman pregnant, or it's going to hurt her ability to have stuff in the future if he gets another girl pregnant. So jealousy is a natural thing. I think it's supernatural. Where it gets bad is the cluster B disorders. Obviously, like obviously there's some women that are having those type of disorders, and you got to get away from them. It sounds like Trigger Mike's, ex, like she definitely had a cluster B disorder, and it's like, yeah, you like that type of jealousy is not okay at all. Like a little bit, I think, is natural. Too much is definitely gonna destroy, everything. It's not gonna do anything good. But I also want to say, I really believe in matching baggage, like relationships with matching baggage. So like, especially today when everybody has baggage, it seems like. So sometimes you're going to match up with somebody who might have matching baggage, and y'all both are going to have jealousy issues or something. And I really think all throughout history, those cluster B disorders kept people together through their horrible trauma, and sometimes kept their genetics and their bloodline going on despite going through horrible things in their past. So sometimes there's like even Dr. David Buss talks about this, how there's like some types of positives to it, but it's a really complicated thing to talk about. But in reality, it's like kind of a good thing, and we wouldn't even be here today, and like our ancestors wouldn't even made it through so much bullshit if it wasn't for things like jealousy. So you got to see all sides of it, I feel like, when it comes to that kind of argument. But definitely two completely different things from love. Like love is just so different. I think men and women love completely different also, so that's just a whole nother subject.
Purple Pill got me over here looking up cluster B disorders. Learn me something tonight. God damn it. Antisocial personality disorders.
Yeah.
Narcissism is 4 of them. It's 4 of them in there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's cluster A, cluster B,
disorders.
and cluster C. Yep. Is histrionic. Histrionic. Yeah, thank you for that education, sir. I appreciate that. I'm gonna learn about this.
Yeah,
Maybe do a show.
Dr. David Buss talks about it so much in some of his books, like the Murderer Next Door and stuff. Definitely check out his books. He's amazing.
Appreciate it.
All right, go ahead, Luis.
Yeah, one of the things I was gonna say is, there's a lot of signs up front that you will learn quickly about this person that you're with, if they're territorial in terms of how you interact with other people, and especially in the early phases. And there are triggers, and there are small triggers, especially things that you say, how you might dress or how you might address somebody. Those triggers are easily identifiable, and it's important to kind of know those up front, because those are the telltale signs of what direction your relationship will head into. I concur a lot of the comments that the brothers had made. I think one of the issues stems is from trust issues. There's a lot of people out there with trust issues and insecurity on both sides of the aisle. And those type of people, you can't bring to your business functions or company winter ball, because you'll fumble the bag real easy. Because having those type of people around other people will mess up your money, because it kind of goes back with the first conversation that we have. I'm trying to build with you, right? That is someone you cannot build with. That is not someone that you could put your trust in their hand to make sure that they won't embarrass you in front of your friends, family, colleagues, right? And sort of they're to kind of destroy by removing you from all the loved ones around you. So that's a few of my thoughts on that.
All right. Who hasn't gone yet? B-Man, you went? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I haven't went yet. No, I think everybody brought up some really good points here. First shout out to Sir Hale on what he was saying, that territorial and jealousy are 2 very different things. And then shout out to Purple Pill, basically saying that, those things are natural to a degree. Territorial is natural. A little bit of jealousy is healthy. That's natural for everybody. You want to know that she cares. You want to know that she's watching. She's like, who's that? What's going on? She's inquiring, because she wants to protect her investment. She wants to protect her who's providing for her, who's provisioning for her, all those good things. But that's a young man's thing. Overall, I think this is a young man's thing, because that territorial stuff can be cute. Definitely can be cute, when you're in your early 20s, that kind of stuff. Some of the jealousy stuff can be a hindrance. It can definitely be detrimental. Kind of like what Trigger Mike was saying, we bringing them around work colleagues, different relationships and whatnot. You know, I feel where you came from, brother. I had a situation like that as well. You know, old college girlfriend and all that, and grew up, and you know, she tried to alienate some of, you know, my friends, some of my relationships I had going on. She wanted me all to herself all the time. Nobody liked her, you know. But she had that good though. So you let a lot of things pass. You let a lot of things let some things go a little bit. You like, you know, and then, you know, you get home, baby, make it better. You know, so you kind of goes to the back of the head. You kind of let it slide a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, after it happens time and time again, and your friends is like, why are you with so-and-so, man? What's going on? Y'all not, you know, we don't really like her attitude. You know, she's rude in public. She kind of wiles out a little bit. That is a hindrance and detrimental to the relationships you're going to build in the future, your business relationships, family relationships, different dynamics, all that type of stuff. And as a grown man, yeah, none of that shit flies. We won't play with none of that shit at all. You know, like I said in the beginning, this is a young man's kind of thing. But you have to be aware of the signs. You have to kind of see it earlier on, and being on and listening to a program like King Talk, like us, guys, take notes, man. I hope y'all are taking notes right now. So you can see those signs. You can see, you know, like I said, a little territorial is natural. It's a little cute. Jealousy, a little bit's cute, but that's about it. You have to be able to regulate your situation, because right now can't nobody come up in here and wild out, because because if you hitting the door, because at this point, if you're not bringing peace in my life, what's the point of this? There's no point of this. You come over here, you bringing problems to me, that's a problem in itself. So, like the great Trigger Mike has said, my mic is muted.
You know what? I'll to add to that point as well. That jealousy doesn't stop at other relationships. Like some women get jealous of the kids too. Like I know some women who get territorial with their man, and if their daughters are too close, like that jealousy will even show in that relationship as well. So, fellas, understand that jealousy is indiscriminate. You don't care who it is. It could be your children. It could affect your relationship with them. So, don't take that stuff lightly. That jealousy will seep in every relationship.
Or what it is, because it could be your car. Don't you wax that Porsche too much. Don't you go outside. Don't you go 4x4 and 2. Don't you care too much about your 4x4.
This is so deep seated that
Don't you care about anything? Sorry, don't you care about anything that's not her?
Exactly. This, you know, I think it was Kevin Hart or Chris Rock that made a joke that said, "Your woman, you cannot have a good time or sound like you're having a good time without your woman. It can't sound like fun is going on in the background." I've lived that, and I did not understand what was going on. That is how territorial and jealous women can be about anything. Have a good time and experience anything of pleasure for yourself outside of her presence, and some women might lose their mind. So, you know, I've always been kind of meh about like therapy and stuff, but that's only because of me. I don't understand all the time how things affect other people and the trauma related with some of these behaviors. That's why now I'm kind of like, okay, some women do need to go and unpack this stuff with a professional, because if it's that bad to where a man who is 100% deserving, he's not out doing any weird stuff, is out with his friends enjoying himself, and you're just texting him to death because he looked like he on his Instagram story like this, yo, this is lit. But she has an issue with that. She's extremely insecure, and she needs to seek help for that.
Well, man, let me speak. Jay, I didn't get the opportunity to speak on it myself.
I was going to. Go ahead, brother Hank.
Okay, so I was going to say that territorial and jealousy, yeah, that's a problem. You know, like Trigger Mike and B-Man said, at 27, you kind of deal with it. You kind of accept it. You okay with it, like Trigger Mike didn't want to admit that ass was good then. 47-year-old Hank, fuck that ass. The ass ain't that damn good where it's gonna mess up my peace of my mindset and what I'm trying to do.
So that kind of is what you're saying is opposite. Hank, you said, what
he said, bang that
ass. He did.
Nah, so
Yeah, you said the F word. You said, you know what? Yeah, you said do it. That's what you basically said.
No,
You know
no,
what?
no. Man, forget it. I'm not worried about it. It's cool. But if she's
All right,
like that, I can't deal with her. She can't be in my
let's
circle.
be real though, Hank. So you
What's
said
up?
27. That was old school. I think
Yeah.
a lot of dudes at 27 were a lot more mature and growing up. We're gonna have to give a lot of these dudes out now. This new version, this new video game version of people that's out now. We're gonna have to get them to 35 before they learn these lessons, bro.
Well,
It's
hopefully
that
they
bad.
learn before then. But I can agree. But I'm just saying, from my experience, I would again I would accept that 47. No. I'm not dealing with this. I believe in having peace and jealousy and being overly territorial doesn't seem like you bringing peace to me. Nothing about that says peace. It says you a goddamn Freddy Krueger ready to give me a goddamn nightmare, and I'm not with this shit, man. I'm gonna keep saying till I can't say it no more. I'm not with that bullshit. I deserve better, and I'm not gonna deal with it. So, fellas, definitely stay away from those type of women. I understand you're gonna fall for the okie doke like me and Mike did. I know some other guys probably fell for it. They just ain't admit it yet. But yeah, it was good. We had fun. We enjoyed it. And to see you little jealous from territory where I see you raise up a little bit, ready to fight the girl next door because she's over staring too long while she's trying to take her garbage to the trash can. Okay, cool. I'm not saying it because I experienced it, but I did. But nonetheless, it shouldn't be a problem when you deal with that then. Now you don't want to deal with that no more. You don't have to sit there and answer them questions.
Nope.
Who is this bitch? Who is that bitch? No.
Nope.
Like Trick Mike said, I'm going to the meeting to let you know, hey, when we go to this our school class reunion, there's gonna be some girls I used to date there. Hey, don't let that bother you. You the one and the only one. I shouldn't have to go and get the third degree and interrogated while I'm doing a reunion just because I'm saying hello. And I already let you know what the deal was. No, not at 47. I'm not gonna deal with it.
And to Sir Hale's point, because you brought up something so impactful too, Hank. You said you're going to a reunion, you're letting her know that there are going to be women here, you're the only one. It is not that these behaviors ever really change or go away. Women just become better at expressing it because now, just like you said, the ex used to put her problem out on Front Street. She'll embarrass herself, she'll embarrass me. The wife, though, she'll maintain her composure. She gonna let you know she got a problem at the hotel room. So these behaviors never really go away. But the more mature women understand there's a time and place for everything.
Exactly.
Facts.
Hey, yo, I think you fellas, if you don't mind me just asking, do you think that a man's concept of jealousy as love stems from him not being loved? So let me explain what I mean. Like, let's say a young man grows up, his parents never made him feel like they wanted him, like he was, they were proud. And could that jealousy that a woman has for him be confused with love because that jealousy makes him feel wanted and valued, even though it's fake? Could that be where it comes from?
I wouldn't say so. I think it comes from a lot of boys being raised by women. I don't think it comes from a lack of love or a lack of attention, because that's how dudes end up joining gangs and they run around and we gonna find somebody that's gonna rock with us. So I think that it's not necessarily from that, Mr. Hill. I think it's just from the conditioning of too much estrogen in his life.
So I definitely kind of agree with you, because like you can get those cluster B disorders from family neglect and stuff like that, and those things directly cause a lot of jealousy. So I definitely think that like some family issues, it definitely, if you get a cluster B disorder from it, it definitely could happen. And it's all about how you're raised, like your environment's your destiny. Another thing I wanted to say, a woman who is really down for you, like really has burning genuine desire for you, she understands that you're a man of status, or that you're a man that gets girls. Like if she feels like she has the prize, she's not going to get jealous all the time. She's going to accept the fact that you're a guy that gets girls, or like girls look at you, and she's going to like it. If anything, it's going to make her feel like she won like a prize. Like I think, like I said, like she's a huge red flag if she gets jealous over stuff. Like definitely has a cluster B disorder, because that's just, a woman should want that. It's like she should want to be with the guy that all the other girls want.
Ooh, purple pill. Them women is married. They don't last too long on the single road. The ones that you just described. A woman, you talking about a woman that is self-aware and knows what she got and is gonna keep her mouth quiet?
Yeah,
Where they at? Where they make?
I mean, you got to get them young. This is something that I talk about and I teach a lot.
Where
Is
they
that
make the
people? Well, a lot of people don't know where to look anymore. It's a desert for women, and there's oases at certain places, and people don't know where to go. Like, but if you know where to go, you can get a young feminine woman. But most guys don't know where to go today. It's really sad.
purple pill? Where they at?
Yeah.
That's my secret. I don't just give it out for free anymore.
They go for
Yeah, I heard that. He gonna monetize that.
Hey,
He
hey.
gonna monetize that game.
No,
And I mean, even
we want to talk offline. They want to talk offline, and if that's the case.
And I don't know why I get so much pushback when I hear, like, just in different spaces, whether it's Clubhouse or on my channel or wherever, on men needing to wait to get married. Like, for instance, Trigger Mike even mentioned, he said he was in a relationship with a woman for 7 years, college, and in the first 3 years he thought it was cute. He didn't know any better. The last 4 years were a little tumultuous, and he was like, "What's going on?" Then he got rid of that, moved on, and knew what not to. But he himself said it took some time for him to learn that stuff. My man Heat came in and said, "Yeah, 27, I finally got it, but right now I'm at 47. It's like, oh hell no." That's typically the case for most men. A lot of men realize what they need or what they want later on. But so many people, I get a lot of pushback about people telling me that men should get married young. That's like one of my main arguments in the last few months. Like, men should get married young, and I'm like, nah, that's not gonna work out really well. And then even my man Purple Pill's coming in here saying, look, but if you get the girl, like, you guys know the argument that I have, men should get married later and women should get married early. Purple Pill is saying if you get a young girl and you can and she's more malleable, you get a brother that already know the bullshit, that's gonna be a better fit. That's just what I think. But I don't know why I get so much pushback on it. Anyways, that's just a.
It's because of the age discrepancy.
Yeah,
it's just because of the age discrepancy. See, it's okay for a woman to want an older, mature man, but it's never accepted that a much older, wiser, established man want a younger woman. Right?
No, we are watching that. Yeah.
Well, I think there's a reason for this, though.
There's a lot of pushback that is always given. You want a woman that's 8 years younger than you, like they always try to bring up like this sort of like paraphilia sort of mentality, right? But in reality, is that man is just more seasoned, just much more experienced in a different stage of his life compared to where that woman is.
So, Lewis, what you're saying is that if a 22-year-old young girl is interested in a 35-year-old man, there's nothing to say. Nobody has nothing to say about that. She just likes older guys. But if a 35-year-old guy wants a 22-year-old woman, there's an issue.
Exactly.
Example
These
number one.
people want each other.
Marcus Houston.
You got to look at the optics. You got to look at the optics of it all, right? It is socially acceptable for a woman to want an older, more seasoned, established man. But when an older, established, seasoned man wants a younger woman, it is looked down and frowned upon. I've had this conversation plenty of times, especially even throughout Clubhouse.
Let's just be clear.
That we get back.
Men don't have an issue with this. Older women do. You don't typically hear men say something's wrong because
they're competing for the same
women.
thing.
Exactly.
The women that get overlooked are the ones. Okay, I wish I could just flip my phone to y'all right now. Because if you go to my Instagram story, I posted something about Marcus Houston and only word they threw out there twice. 2 messages. Well, he's a pedophile.
Well,
I said, explain to me the difference between him and his wife and Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan, because she babysitted Marcus Jordan. That's the word out. And now she with that. Explain to me the difference. Not one of them could do it, and they still cursing me out as we speak in my chat.
Well, there's like a huge issue here because a lot of people don't look at the nuance of it, and there's a huge percentage of guys that like. So I mean I'm one of those guys. I'm 32 years old and I have a 23-year-old girlfriend. But there's a lot of guys. I've always had young girlfriends. I've had 5 serious relationships and they were always in the age bracket of like 20 to 22. every one of them. So
Okay. We got a Leonardo. We got a Leonardo
no,
on the panel.
Well, so I'm gonna use him as an example. I believe men that do that and they keep always getting younger women because they're like that's what they always get because of their value, whatever it is about them that they're able to get girls. That's normal, and I think that's okay. What's weird is when a 35-year-old, the guy that you know in your friend group that's never had a girlfriend his entire life, he finally gets a girlfriend when he's 35 or 40, and it's a 19-year-old. That's when it's a fucking issue, and I don't think that that's okay when it's like that. That's weird to me. That is weird. Okay, but like it's the same if a girl though has say a 30 body count and she gets with a guy with a 1 or 2 body count. Like she's able to sexually manipulate him and do all types of manipulation in that relationship the same type of way, but nobody bats an eye when women do shit like that. So I think it's the same on either side. It's just there's some nuance to it.
Wait, so the assumption is an older man is manipulative. I don't agree with that. I think that a lot of older men who choose to get,
you lost me on that one too.
Yeah, so I think
it's just if he's never had a serious relationship his whole life.
Let me just get this out. So I think most older men, they don't want older women because they're hard to deal with. Right, this is younger girls don't have as much drama and brokenness and jadedness to filter through, right? And I think that's really what a lot of older men are looking for.
But why wasn't he able to get those women whenever he was 30? Why wasn't he able to get those?
He was building something.
Why does his dating history matter? Why does his dating history matter? That he didn't really date a lot of girls in college. He was kind of like in the books. He was maybe working on his thing. He was maybe he was a nerd, maybe he gamed, and then suddenly when he got 35, maybe confident, maybe built himself up, maybe got stronger and more and liked how he looked. And now he goes out into the dating market. If he picks a really younger girl, you think that he's weird. I'm just curious. Why do you think that is weird?
Because experience is everything. Like putting time into something makes you good at it. And there's so many men today that are not putting time into our ancestors and my father and grandfather. They were getting married and they were having relationships at very young ages, and they were learning about women living with people very early on. People aren't doing this shit until 35, and they're building bad habits. They're building habits that are going to make it to where when they get into a relationship finally, they don't even know how to actually make that person happy. They're so stuck being a single person, just a person by themselves, that they're not going to know how to do things correctly. Like it's a bad thing that's being taught, and like we need to flip it around and teach guys to get into them for practice.
So tell me this, Purple Pill, then what would you prefer? If you think it's weird that this guy who didn't have any dating history, he didn't really mess with chicks, he never got chicks, he didn't chase chicks, half the homies didn't know if he was gay or not, and then he turns 35 and he goes younger, that's weird. What would you want him to do?
I would want him to just practice early. Like I'm not saying that. Okay, I'm not going to say it's wrong.
He didn't do that because to me, if he's weird at dating a 20-year-old, is he just as weird if he dates a 34-year-old woman?
Well, no, not at all. That's what I'm saying. He's just weird. Like I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong.
His age at that point,
he can do it. Like I'm not saying this is wrong or what's wrong or right. I'm just saying it's weird to me. And you want to know why society calls it weird? That's why.
Let me be the tiebreaker here. Let me be the tiebreaker because we got to understand that this is all socially constructed, and this is all maybe the last 50, 60 years, because what has happened prior to that is that a 10, 15, even 20-year age gap was perfectly normal and preferred. Now, you have to think about it with that age gap that you mentioned. This is indicative of people always expecting men to take the hardest road for the same result. If the road is to get married, if the road is to impress your wisdom on a wife who will listen like she's supposed to, someone who is going to get joy from serving. Older women don't want to do that shit. They don't get joy from serving. They get joy from receiving. The older they get and the longer they stay single, the more selfish and self-serving they become. Am I lying? Have I lied yet? So the natural default is that the preference is that men get women who do not have these behaviors, and those women tend to be younger and outwardly projecting that they are willing to learn from a man. In fact, it's not that they are in awe of a man. It's not that a man is trying to manipulate them. These women are just appreciative. What man does not want to be appreciated? You are asking us to do away with our natural feeling and propensity to want to be appreciated for the stuff that we do. And this was preference back in the day. And for those of you that think I'm capping, I've already gotten the question. Trigger Mike, would you let a 29-year-old man marry a 19-year-old daughter? I say I don't know, but I would let a 31-year-old man marry my 21-year-old daughter. I would. He would come in, he would let me know that he's trying to court her, and I would make him wait. The same way they used to do back in the day, and they still do in my culture. Let me see what your life plan looks like. This is a man of means, and this is the one thing I want to put on your mind, Purple Pill. Do you not realize that if women were just willing to go 10 years above in age and men were always willing to go 10 years down, everything that women complain about would be solved? Don't they complain about money, status, having a decent job? Every single thing they complain about would be solved if every woman did that. My mic is muted.
and I really like doing like the cut in half plus 7 years thing. So like if you're 35, what is that? Cut in half plus 7, like 17 plus 7, like 24 or
17,
something.
24.
Yeah, yeah, like it's not that. See, that's not that bad then. You know, like it's just when it's extreme. It's just when it's extreme. That's all I'm saying. Just like how it's weird when it's extreme. If a girl has like a 50 body count, but then she's trying to be with a dude with like 2 or 3, she's gonna manipulate the fuck out of that dude. There's certain instances where it's weird, and that's all it is. It's not right or wrong. It's just weird. That's all I'm gonna say.
And I also have to acknowledge that the reason we have such a high divorce rate is because most people now marry within two years of their social age group.
So
Mike, I was gonna say something about that.
I got a little pushback. So this is a consequence of not getting married early. So all of what we're just talking about, all the worrying about this, the way you solve this is we raise our sons and daughters to get married early, and this is not a problem. So as a guy who got married at 19 years old, I ain't run into none of these issues, right? Because we were both young, we were both malleable, right? So here's my pushback: get married
Don't
early.
do it, fellas. Don't listen to Sir Hale. Don't listen.
Find a good woman, find a good wife early, and you're not gonna have these problems.
Don't listen to him because then you're gonna see when she's territorial and jealous.
And let me say this too. Sorry, I'm hogging the mic, but this is from the last point. That get married, it was in contradiction to what Shan said about don't get married early. That's actually cultural, Shan. That's cultural. Because here in Houston, the Mexican community gets married extremely early, but they do it the right way. In my opinion, they do it the right way. Everything is taken care of. They bring that person into their family. They live. They have children early. The family helps them care for those children. If you have the structure for it, marrying early is beneficial, right? If the boy doesn't have a job, he works with the father, right? So it's like that's the way it's traditionally been done. All bases covered that way. Now, the average black two people, no. At 19, 21-year-old, we don't have that structure. Let's just be real. So therefore, I would agree with you on that. No, those people shouldn't be getting married, but it's cultural.
Kind of going back to, people who are marrying within 1 or 2 years. So people who are married, out of all marriages, people who are married within 1 or 2 years of each other comprise of 34% of all marriages. So 34% of all marriages are within 1 or 2 years. And then 2 to 3 years, it goes down to 19%. And then 4 to 5 years, 12%. And then 6 to 9, 11. And then it starts tapering. You see that 15-year gap in marriage is really 1.6% of all marriages. So you find people who are marrying at that large of a gap at a very small threshold compared to the people who are marrying 1 to 5 years apart, right? But we're saying that those people who are that close in marriageable age are comprising of the large majority of the issues and probably the divorce.
Wait, you say so? My question: are you saying that it's better that people marry within their social age group of 2 to 5 years?
No, I don't think that it's better. I don't think that it's better. I'm looking at it holistically. Like what percentage of the people who are marrying, and it's 34% who are 34%.
Is that the largest group? That's the largest
group?
That's where the problems at. That's where the problems are at.
That's what he's saying. That's where the problem.
So listen, we also got to decipher. We got to stop. Well, in this case, we need to cite it. Well, all we can cite is what women say. I have never understood what women meant when they cite irreconcilable differences and finances as a reason for divorce. I understand now, because women somehow expect a dude they went to college with. They get married. They expect this fool in their social age group to make $100,000 more than them. All problems will be solved if you would have just went for somebody a little older, a little more established, a little more mature. In fact, like I said, the women who have their head on straight are looking for someone to follow. And that man that's older than you is much easier to follow.
I don't like the trigger. I know if a
We know
woman
you
has
don't,
not
Sergio. You got
managed
married at
100,000, if a woman has not managed over $30,000 or $40,000 in her life, she doesn't deserve a man who makes 100,000. You can't handle that.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
If he makes, let me explain.
Hell.
Hold on. Let me explain. Most women don't want a man to earn so that she can help save and multiply and invest. She wants a lifestyle. That's what she wants an older man for, to provide a lifestyle. And men who are trying to build something, that's the first question we asked, who are really working on something. You can't afford to have a woman who needs you to cater to her lifestyle so much so that you can't focus on the thing you're building. So women, if they haven't been able to manage a few $1,000s seriously, they don't deserve a man who make $100,000. They cannot handle it.
So what you just said is that we're
disagree. Look at
Sir, hell, then there's no hope for humanity here. So hell, if you
there's
saying
no
that
hope because
Well,
women can't manage that money. They can't manage
Sir Hale, does a math class count?
Hey, Alpha, you want to chime in at all?
Sir Hale did not like the movie Pretty Woman. He was like, no,
he didn't. He didn't.
He did not like the breed. So you cannot be a millionaire and date a barista at Starbucks.
But how many men are millionaires? Come on, let's be honest. For the average person,
Sir Hale don't want anybody making $70,000 dating anybody at McDonald's.
Let me get Alfie in there. Go ahead, Alfie.
Oh no, they can take it because I'm not really with the married thing at all. I don't have no kids. I live a different lifestyle, so I ain't even got to swing.
I feel like fuck them hoes.
Yeah, bro.
Talk about
it. Not just them hoes and them kids. He like fuck everybody.
No, seriously, but it's not. I just like doing what I like to do whenever I like to do it. You know what I mean? And and relationships ain't for everybody, and people got to know that. You know what I mean?
That's true.
You did it the right way.
I know what I like. You know what I mean? But that's me. But that's what I said earlier. I ain't gonna force my shit on y'all. I ain't here for that. You know what I mean? But to each his own. So.
I'll say this real quick. I think there's two strong groups. I think it's a combination of kind of what Sir Hale was saying and what Shan was saying that turns out to have really successful marriages. I think it's the ones that get married when they're finishing college. That age group, that's 1 year, 2 years difference right there. Because they're both coming to an agreement. Both of y'all broke as hell. Both of y'all ain't got shit. Both of y'all got student debt. Both of y'all are coming in and willing to build with each other. That woman isn't coming in thinking that about this lifestyle. She's looking at potential with this man and all the things he can be and all the things we can be together as we both grow and mature together. And then you have the other side when you have the woman the male that is 8 to 10 years older, that she can look up to, that that leads her, that has his money together, that has his whole situation together, his business together, his work situation together, and that can lead her, mentor her, all that type of things. So I think those are two situations that marriages can be long lasting and have a higher opportunity of winning.
I got a question.
So the only thing about that, B. Madden.
I got a question.
All right, come to me real quick.
I got a question for you, Stan.
Because I got an answer for you, Sir Hill. But real quick, B. Madden. The only thing I have with that young couple one is that that's one of the issues. That's one of the highest divorce. That's what we're dealing with now. That's the Cosby family that we all grew up on. When we saw Cliff Huxtable and his wife, he's the doctor and she's the lawyer, and we all decided to try to model ourselves after that. And we're gonna build. That's the build together. You just described the build together is gonna work out. And I'm just simply saying, what kind of woman does she turn into? What kind of, when we graduate together, and I'm talking about it particularly in the Black community, because we know it works in other cultures and whatnot, but just with us, what does that turn into when, hey, I'm struggling, you struggling, so you go get a job and I get a job, and then you put in your money and I'm putting in my money, and now we kind of partners, and you know, I want to be the boss of the house, but I really can't be the boss of the house because shit, you got a promotion faster than I did, so you make more money than me. And now, next thing you know, you got two people bickering because you got two bosses in the house, and she ain't gonna give up her power. So then it just becomes an issue later on. I think it looks good on paper, and I'm glad that it works out for so many people, like Sir Hale as an example. He's a great example of where it worked out, and he probably established. Anton is another. You know, these people established their dominance and said this is what we're gonna do, despite the fact that they grew together. But far often than not, you got there's a power dynamic and a struggle that's in that household that becomes, you ain't gonna tell me what to do. You can't tell me what to do. And you need me to be here because if I withdraw my money, if I, you know, then what we gonna do? So I gotta go to work, but I'm tired. So I need you to do these things. And in fact, you want to be, there is no head of the household anymore because we both struggled. And now, you know, I just think that scenario, what type of woman does she turn into ultimately in this particular Western society? This boss chick, Western society, and all the things that's being ingested by her from billboards to media to social media to her friends to Cardi B and all the things that she's hearing. What kind of woman does that man end up with that's going to end up driving him crazy because he's naturally built in, it's baked in the cake to want to be the leader, but now she's been conditioned and cultured to be a leader as well. I think that's where the problems start to arise. I like the latter. That's just me.
I'll say this in response. I think it's been really successful and it's worked well in a particular age group as of now. I think it worked more 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, really, really, really well. When you're talking about doing it today, I think it is more difficult. I think there are more hurdles. I think you have social media, you have rap music, you have, you know, different images that's out there now. Strong, independent woman. I don't need to make this kind of, you know, all these different echo chambers out there. So I think it is more difficult today than what the previous. But I just look at, you know, a lot of the people I've surrounded myself with, the people that I kind of grew up around and went to school with and whatnot, they're happily married, got kids, or all the things when they're really the same age. And the thing is, what made it successful was that one, she didn't have a lot of bodies. Usually the woman didn't have a lot of bodies. She got a few in college, but that was about it. He got her early on. And he established his dominance early in the relationship and the dynamic early in the relationship. And she was on board, and she was on board with, a lot of those women were on board with, you know, him becoming a doctor, becoming a lawyer, or he had very high potential. So it wasn't a question of, you know, is he going to do right by me? It was more so a question of when is it going to pop? When is he going to hit? You know, how many years do I need to grind and sacrifice as a woman until he gets his, you know, JD, or until he, you know, passes the bar exam, or until he, you know, finishes his residency as a doctor, that type of stuff.
Okay. What you got for me, sir?
I'll say this. Oh, yeah, so we got to come back to this, Shan.
Yeah,
so I think it has less to do with the woman's job to that point, though. I think it has to do with the actual woman herself. If a job is going to amplify what she is, or if she bossy and need to be in charge and she gets a job, her personality is coming out in her getting that job. So I don't think the job changes her. I think the job is a reflection of her. So me just got to be careful of who you marry. I say this because when I first got married, for the first few years, my wife made more money than me. Now, listen, it wasn't a lot of money, right? I was earning like $20,000. She was making like 35, 40. So it wasn't a whole lot. But I never had to, it was never a power struggle over money. When she got money, brought the check home to me and I did with it. So you got to marry the woman who wants to submit. It's all about how she's cultured, how she's raised, and her wanting to, she sees you as that guy that can lead. But to Shan's point,
that's an uphill battle in this current climate right now.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying when I was younger. So,
Yeah.
but to Shan's point, now, so we think that okay, a man earns $100,000, right? Get a young woman and she deserves this. Let me ask you a question, and this is to all the fellas. So let's say you earning 150. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you doing your thing, and you meet a young woman and she's fantastic. I mean, she's your girl. does she have to sign a prenup before you get married?
Yes, everybody should sign a
Yes,
prenup.
of course. Yes, 1,000%.
Y'all fools ain't gonna make her
Yes.
sign no prenup. Stop it.
Shit.
Yeah.
Only 13% of people
If
got
she
it.
if she's really down for you, she'll sign it in 2 seconds.
As soon as she
The
sucked
answer is
that meat for an hour straight, you gonna forget all about that prenup. Yeah.
Nah, not no
Y'all
nigga
lying.
making 150.
But see, that's my point, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
Like,
yes, you should sign a prenup. So what's the follow up?
but see, that's my point, though. This is why I don't believe that if we have the mindset that we got to protect ourselves because she didn't build this, that's what I'm saying. Most women who don't have a track record with you of managing anything don't deserve immediately a guy who's making that much. My thing is, if you want a man like that and you really want to have access to that, get married early and build with a man so that you have access. That's my whole point. Get married
So
early.
are you under the impression that a woman that has managed some money and maybe have a little bit of life under her and has done some things, she's 28 now, she's not 18, she's 31, she don't need a prenup?
No, I say if you don't get married early in this climate, you might need one, right? That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying don't go into a marriage assuming that because you earn this amount of money, you're gonna get something different. Like I said, because she's not with you to help build what you have. She's with you for a lifestyle. That's the whole point that I'm making.
Essentially, she just waited at the finish line and fuck the winner.
Well, no, see, this is crazy though. Like
that's really what it came down to.
This is so crazy though that y'all really think this to me, because like a guy doesn't have frame early on at 20, 21, 22, 23. It takes so many years to build confidence for you to have a good solid frame at the start of the relationship. If you don't start the relationship with a solid frame, like with a good mindset and like her respecting you a lot, it's not going to work. Now, if you get a girl's virginity or her second guy, or you're like her third guy or something, there's a pretty high chance that like you can get that out of her. But dude, that's not happening today. Like, and most guys don't have frame to have a good relationship early on. Like if you're 30, 35, you can do it.
What do we mean most guys don't have frame? I think, and the reason I say this is because it's like we expect, it's like only men have to grow. Most women don't have frame. We just get connected to coochie. And because it gives us that, we don't require her to grow in any other areas of our life. But the thing is,
women don't need frame.
I just want to say this. Most women don't develop emotional intelligence, which is why now I don't agree with my guy, Mr. Leggo, but when he says a lot of women act like children, right? Because women stop at the age they get sexual attention. So it's not just that men need to be in frame, it's just that men who don't have that frame, we also don't require women to have that as well as soon as we start giving some. So I think we gotta fix that talking point that women have to have a level of growth as well. And we got to stop giving women access who don't display that.
See, we got to define frame really quick. Frame is the girls walking into your boundaries, your rules, your everything. Like, it's my frame. You're coming into my frame. Right. I'm not like, so I'm the leader of the relationship. I'm the 51%. I'm making most of the decisions. That's what I'm talking about. And most guys at 21, 22, 23 don't have that frame. They're starting it off.
We call it program.
And it's 50. Yeah, it's 50-50, or it's some type of relationship where it feels too equal. It's not in his frame, it's more in her frame. Like maybe she's calling the shots, or maybe she's going out on girls' trips, maybe she's going out on girls' nights out. I'm back with my man Purple Pill.
Me and Purple Pill cool again.
Let me break this union up. What I'm saying is men do need frame. I'm saying that, but I'm saying we're expecting 23-year-old man to have it. He's not supposed to have it. He's supposed to be grown into that. And if he gets with the woman his age as well, she's supposed to be growing as well. You don't get it all at 23 years old. Like we keep selling. Just what I'm saying.
We don't want you to get married. We know that you don't have frame at 23. You're the one that's advocating that.
Here's what I'm saying. Like, point to what age a man he's got frame.
After he's built a lot, it comes from confidence of doing a lot.
History. Yeah, it comes with dating. It comes with falling and getting up. It comes with learning things. It comes with wisdom over time. It comes with on-the-job training. It comes with advancement in his career. That's where it all comes. And then knowing what he wants. It comes with dating a woman for 7 years in college and realizing she's crazy and you can't take her to the Christmas parties at your job.
That's my
and
point.
You got to get rid of her.
But see, that's my point. You're wasting time. You wasted 7 years of your life. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of us, we keep on.
He didn't waste
7 years of your life with a crazy woman. 7 years of your life with a crazy woman.
That's
I
not a
don't like
waste.
being the example in this. I don't like being it at all. I don't.
That's
That's
not
not
a
a loss.
waste.
That's not a loss. Those are lessons, man.
Yeah, Trigger
Those
Mike
are
didn't waste
lessons.
his time. Trigger Mike went to school. He
Right.
went to life school. He
Oh,
went to
I did go to school. Because you got to ask yourself, did I make the same mistake twice? I sure did not.
I hear what you're saying, but
Somebody
I'm
got to be
saying
practiced. Remember,
I just keep on hearing, and this is as a man who I mature way faster than I should have. Like we put
You
so
are
much
an anomaly, Leo.
But
We keep telling you that.
But you see what I'm saying? I think we put so much pressure on men to be there, and most men don't have the steps to get there, right? And that's the whole point that I'm saying. Most men don't have frame because you grow into that. And I think women have to do the very same thing on their end. And I don't mean they have the same frame as men, but I mean, if you got a man who's structured, you got to have a woman who has peace about her, women who knows how to respect, women who have a calm about them. Because if you take a woman who's chaotic into a man with frame, she's going to mess up your life. So that's what I'm saying. Both men and both women have growing to do. And I think the best way to realize that, get married early. Do not waste your time. Because we like to say that it's just women who get messed up with bodies. But men get programmed with the wrong women as well. Let's be honest about that.
I'm gonna get you on our husband and wife school podcast, sir.
So are we saying that men, if you spend time with the wrong types of women, you're not conditioning yourself for a certain type of woman?
I'm trying to understand.
No, you're learning what to avoid. You're learning what you won't like. You are learning what the hell.
So learning for men is failure for women.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because you're the provider protector.
Yeah.
Because you're the head of the household. Because the frame is your program. That's why. And in order for you to build the right program for somebody to jump onto, for you to have the right bus with the right amount of seats and going in the right direction, you have to go through that.
That's just interesting because we need women to fail. Like in order for those lessons we talking about, it requires women. But we're saying we don't want women.
You want them to go? You want them to have a hot girl summer and learn. So you want the women to have a hot girl summer and learn.
Do you hear what I'm saying though? Like, do you hear the point that I'm making though? We're saying it's failure for women, but we need women to learn. That's what I'm saying. That concept is interesting.
I can totally break it down. I can totally break this down. Guys have to go through trauma. Everything about masculinity comes from trauma. Everything about a man that makes him masculine comes from trauma. Women are the complete opposite. That is why for all of history, men and fathers have always had to protect their daughters, protect their virginity, because if anything happens, they are ruined from it. And it's hard to get out of that trauma cycle. That's why there's so many women messed up today, because all it takes is 2 or 3 bodies and they're done. Like all it takes is all you get is stigmatized by one dude, one Chad, and she's fucked sometimes, bro.
But let's flip this.
She's alpha widow.
Let's flip this. A man who gets his heart broken by a woman he loved, he gets messed up just as well. Right?
Because trauma builds a man. I'm telling it's the opposite.
No.
I agree with you that a guy should not sleep around. A guy should not sleep around. I agree with you that guy should not sleep around.
No, forget sleeping around. I'm not even talking about sex. A man can be in love with the woman he's never had, right? It could be something. If his heart gets broken enough times, that's a damaged man. That's just what if you look at some of these guys who talk about relationship content, some of these guys
they create some villains. We're talking the villains.
But this is what I'm saying, though. So we're saying that it's learning for men, but it's failure for women. I'm saying that men don't learn the lessons unless they learn from women as well. So I think we're being dishonest when it comes to this, right? Both men and both women have to learn. That's what I'm saying. It can't be failure for women and being a lesson for men.
Sir Hill, you make sure your daughter marries a guy her age at 18. You talk to us later. We'll see how that goes.
No. So we're in a different time though, right? And my girls are very sweet, feminine young girls, but we're in a different time, and I have to respect that. I happen to believe that I was a little bit lucky. I won't make any mistakes about that.
A little
bit. I was a little bit lucky, right?
Just a little. That's it. That's all you got. Just a little, nigga. You.
But here's one thing that I didn't do. I wasn't sleeping around, and I was on my grind.
You didn't have a chance to. You didn't have a chance to. You got married at 19.
Listen, I was a musician. I mean, listen. You know, I mean,
Sir Hill, stop it.
Talking about
Charles before Rachel.
Let's play a game called Guess the Instrument. I say saxophone.
You said saxophone.
I knew it.
Sir Hell.
Shan, what you got? Shan, what you got?
Sir Hell. Hey, when
Man,
you
a clarinet.
Chat, guess the instrument.
Hold
Chat.
on,
Tuba, tuba,
Man,
tuba,
can you
tuba
stop
for
the
sure.
stream? Shannon said a
Tuba.
clarinet. That's disrespectful.
Nah,
He doing what Trill
could have
did.
been
Trill
worse.
said
He could have said
clarinet.
the flute.
It is a tuba
That's
for sure.
messed
was
up.
on-
You might have said the flute. That's
Sir Hell
messed
was on
up.
the triangle. He had a triangle, baby. He had a
I'm
triangle.
trying him tonight.
Guess fucking harmonica.
Now I gotta say
Oh,
something
no.
tough.
Harmonica.
I was on the drums. I gotta say something tough now to fix all what that's been said.
Let me
Dang.
think. A guy with a kingpin shirt on. What instrument would he play?
You know what, JR? We got the next question, JR. This is just going. This is evolving, man. I don't know where this is going.
Well, I'm gonna contact HR so you feel like that hurt feelings report. That's how we're gonna solve that. Nip it in the bud. So somebody, I'm sure it's
You
gonna
know
be.
what? If he had a fedora, it'd definitely be the saxophone. I'm sticking with saxophone.
Make sure you guys get in touch with y'all local chairman, man. It's gonna be. You guys just tuned in. Welcome to King Talk. Make sure you hit the like. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're gonna move on to our last and final topic, the meat of the conversation. Let me get to these super chats first before we do. We got a few of them. Here we go.
Someone said bass clarinet. Damn, sir.
AL $5 says the more established I get, the less marriage makes sense to me. If she wasn't with me shooting in the gym, I don't trust her.
Yeah. What's the
Trying to be
upside?
legendary. 499 also member says middle class men shouldn't be with women making less than 50K. Rich men can afford to take on her lifestyle. AL $5 also member says if y'all leveraging money against each other, that's bad character. Instead, you both should be investing in each other's success. Y'all are on the same team. The real Pookie $2 says not nan one of the men on the panel have prenups. The real Pookie $2 also remember says alphas never get heartbroken. We have no emotions.
Who? Wait, we gotta.
I was with his first women.
We gotta address this.
Yo, the real Pookie.
We gotta address these type of
says it all.
things.
The real Pookie. I believe it. Whatever he's, I believe that. I believe
We
it.
gotta address these type of fallacies. Like, who says this shit? Oh, never mind.
Yeah. We don't have emotions, guys. We're emotionless bots up in here. So
Yo.
yeah.
All right, here we go, y'all. Last one. Men who nitpick don't have boundaries. Here we go.
When you don't have boundaries as a man, you tend to nitpick. It's overbearing with every little turn you feel and every little feeling that you have. Every time a woman says something or every negative emotion that she has, you're responding to every little emotion, every little negative emotion she has, every little thing that she says, every little attitude, everything that she do, you responded to all of it because you don't have a guide. You don't have a navigation system, which is your boundaries. When you have boundaries, you know, okay, these are the things that I'm dealing with, and all that other shit you can just let a person do them, and you can give a person grace for being a human being, because people are human beings at the end of the day. Women are human beings. They're going to have emotions. They ain't going to say the best shit all the time. They're going to do dumb shit. They're going to say dumb shit. They're going to get tantrums. They're going to be emotional. They're going to cry. They're going to yell or whatever, right? But when you have boundaries and you have a guide of things, okay, this is what I'm not dealing with, all that other shit, you can allow a person to be them and be human. You see what I'm saying? But when you don't, you tend to nitpick at everything, and that's smothering a person. A person feel like they can't breathe. A person feel like they can't express themselves. A person feel like they don't have room to be, you know, a true, full human being, because every little turn, you're responding to every little thing. And you're responding to every little thing because you don't know what and what not to respond to. And the things that you're not supposed to respond to are the things that's outside of your boundaries.
All right, here we go. Men who nitpick don't have boundaries. I'm gonna go to you first, Alpha.
Yeah, he preaching facts, because as a leader, for real cat, you have your frame, and you're not supposed to have your emotions being fucked with. You just put it off in the dating shit, right? The problems that the reason why men have problems in relationships for the most part is because they care, bro. You don't go through that shit with the ones you don't care about. Once you start caring, then you have expectations. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but the thing is, a lot of times dudes are more into the woman than the woman is into them. You see, so she knows how to fuck with them. if I'm dealing with a woman, I'm never invested to the point where she feel like I won't leave her. I don't put myself in those type of positions. You see what I'm saying? So it's certain type of things that I ain't gonna deal with. And I mean, I'm happily just who I am and the things that I do. So my happiness isn't based on companionship from a particular person. So any woman who I deal with is a bonus. And so if I lose the bonus, I'm still at 100. You see, I like to travel. I got my dogs. I like to write my books. I got other shit that I'm into other than, you know, my significant other, you know, so it's a different dynamic. So that's what I say. Like when it's just like your boss. If I know I can fuck with you, then I'm gonna do it because I want a reaction sometimes. Sometimes women fuck with you because they just bored. You didn't even always do anything. They just bored sometimes, right? So they're gonna do certain things. When your woman values you and looks at you as the prize, it's just certain shit that's not gonna happen, bro. It's about what kind of table you set and what playing field. And like I said, some people are different. Some people are raised to where, hey, this is my queen and everything she say goes. Got to raise different, but that's on you. Whatever your form of happiness is, you live with that. But you know what I mean? When women fear they can lose you, you're gonna get a different type of respect and reaction. You know what I'm saying? And have to be that guy, you gotta be a leader. You know, you got to show the woman by action that by following you, and I don't even want to use that word follow, but just by letting you lead, that you're gonna take her where you need to go. You know, being on the coaching side, a lot of times I can talk to a guy, right? And the first thing I may ask him is, what do you want to do in life? I don't know. You see, I already know why he fucked up. How do you not know? You're supposed to know everything. If you ask me right now what I want to do in life, I can talk for fucking 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't got nothing to do with no woman either. I just got big goals. You know what I'm saying? So that's you know, like for instance, I want to live abroad, right? Open up a school. That's not traditional shit. So it's gonna take a certain type of woman to flow with that. You see, it's different. So, but I that's for me. But you know, I feel like as a man, a hack is you gotta like who like you. A lot of dudes, they base who they date off of attraction and try to figure it out later. You know what I'm saying? They see what they like and what that looks like, and then they try to mold the person to go with that. And sometimes you just can't do it. Some women don't have the capacity to love you the way that you need to be loved, regardless of your teaching it, because her experiences ain't taught her that. You know, so that's my take.
All right, Brother Hink, I'm gonna go to you. Men who NitPick don't have boundaries. What are your thoughts about it?
Well, a man shouldn't be nitpicking anyway. That's more of a female thing right there to me. But as long as you asking the tough questions and establishing yourself with this lady, this shouldn't be a problem. As a man, you shouldn't be nitpicking because you have already established what your expectation is, what's your boundaries, and what's your rules and regulations. Now, if she respects you, she'll follow them. If she don't, you need to leave her ass at that 5-star Michelin restaurant that Louise like to visit every other weekend. We're not doing that shit, man.
Huh.
So, yeah, that's nitpicking for a man. What, dude? Unless you're a man that sit down to pee, I don't understand that bullshit. Well, maybe that's a younger dude. My man Purple Podcast could probably explain that to me about these young cats nitpicking. That seems like a goddamn feminine ass man or a nagging ass woman.
Ow. Hey, real talk too. Players need some hobbies other than just like watching sports. If you got a lot of hobbies, bro, it keeps you a real focus. If you got a lot of shit that you doing all the fucking time, bro, just like seriously, like or even just something that relax you. My thing is writing books. That's what I like. Like this is one of my books. This isn't like just a cool picture. I like to do art, sculpt. So I got other shit that, you know, and I'm really into it. So sometimes when it comes to dating, I gotta really be into her because she's taken away. Just like Lapeef, you know, YouTube. How much time does YouTube take? YouTube is a whole thing. When you do podcasts, you got a source, you got a network. That shit take time. And I got a 9 to 5. That shit, I ain't got time for bullshit and flakes and shit like that, bro. I got 20-hour days going on, man. I just came from Dallas last a few nights ago. You know what I mean? Like this is, you know. But then like some guys, it's like they find that girl, and then it's like my love, and then when some shit go a little fly, they don't know how to fucking function and shit because the woman that they deal with is basically in charge of their happiness and emotions.
Well, and let me finish up right here. Again, like I said before, man, find that woman who's going to help you build your dreams or work on your dream and establish your dreams and watch your dreams to accomplish. Make sure you find that woman because, man, leave them goddamn nightmares alone, man. Leave them. I don't care how pretty she is. I don't care how big her ass is and juicy her titties are. It doesn't matter, man. If she's gonna be a headache and a hindrance to you, there's no need for her. These heifers are a dime a dozen. So leave them alone, man. Unless you're just trying to get 20 goddamn minutes from them and get the hell on. I understand then. But if you're trying to make it serious, yeah, don't invest in nothing like that. And especially ones who and you men who are out here nitpicking, man, I'd suggest you find you some type of male role model, some male mentors, so you can sit down and have a conversation with some coaching or something, man, because you need to get out of that mindset and that behavior. If you're moving like that as a man, nitpicking on every goddamn thing you want me to. First of all, she shouldn't be doing something like that where you nitpicking anyway. So why didn't you establish these boundaries with this woman? Why didn't you have this conversation before you made her your wife or before you started to start courting her or dating her? Why? That's your fault, dog. That is your fault. Now, it'll be different if you bring it up one time and that's it. Okay, you educate, you teaching them. But now she's constantly doing this shit. She ain't got no respect for you. So yeah, you might as well go and leave her where she lay.
One more thing too, because this is for men and women, and it's not no corny shit. This is real game. Like people need to understand their language, man. People don't even be knowing what love language is, and that's one of the most fucking. Put it like this, like, so a dude could come to me and say, "Man, I do everything. I buy my woman Louis Vuitton. I buy her this jewelry. I just took her to Jamaica 2 weeks ago. But yeah, but your girl language is she just like to be up under you and shit. You know what I'm saying? Or just I like kind gestures, so a woman can buy me some Jordans and it ain't gonna hit the way it hit for her baby daddy because I don't give a fuck about shoes and shit like that. So you gotta know what your language is. It's physical touch. You may be doing all types of stuff, but just the cuddling shit, or she just want to be told thank you. You ain't doing that, but you bought her a car, and so you think that you popping it, but she just want to be appreciated. You gotta have them conversations, and you gotta tell the woman how to love you because what's gonna happen is she's gonna show you the type of love. But guess what? If she's single, she's showing you love from a failed relationship. She bringing that shit to you. And if you don't clarify what it is you need, like boom, her and her ex might have went out to eat every night. You like home cooked food. She dragging you all around town and shit. That's not your vibe. But you haven't put the leadership shit down to tell her because you like how you like the bully and whatever it is you like. You cannot fault a woman for not treating you right if you ain't told her what it is that you want, but you also gotta have something for her too. So a woman ain't just gonna do it because you say it. A woman ain't gonna respect you just because you were married and you got some balls. It's gotta be something in it for her too. Whatever that is, safety, leadership, constant sex, you a good ass cook, whatever it is, she need to feel it too. You know, it's kind of like dealing with women. You're a character in their movie. You got to understand that. If you are a nice guy, right, and a woman just boom. So a woman might have came from a toxic cat, and then you're a super nice guy because she went the opposite of what hurt her, and then flip that around. If you were a nice guy and she was bored as hell, she gonna want a toxic cat or just somebody that's gonna excite her. So it's understanding yourself and understanding women at the same time.
Yeah, and that's just as you as a man setting expectations, setting the boundaries. You have to do that, and you have to do it off rip. And if it means you may end up losing because she don't like what you have to say or your standards or your morals, then so be it. Let it be. Move on to the next. You got options out there. Me and as us as the prize, exercise your options.
Shan.
I think Shan is frozen in time.
No.
Yo,
When a man is that focused, that was him texting the booty call for that night. Everybody know what that looked.
Yeah, he's trying to set up in 20 minutes.
That's the sniper look.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go to Luis, and then
he didn't deny it. He didn't deny it. Look at him.
And then I'll go to B Madden. Go ahead, Luis.
Yeah, man. A lot of good stuff was shared. One of the things I'm gonna say right up front is you have to know who you are as a man. That is very important to understand who you are as a man and how you show up. And you have to establish a non-negotiable with people, especially with women that you're dealing with, and set the tone early on. Because if you don't, there's just going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be up for interpretation, and there's going to be reasons why you're going to be nitpicking. You didn't establish anything up front. And when we talk about boundaries are just not limited to relationships. They're also expanded to friendships, boundaries with family, boundaries with co-workers and associates, right? There's all forms of different boundaries that you have to establish with these people that you're in community and proximity to, right? And unfortunately, that comes as a byproduct of you not really understanding who you are. What are the things that you are willing and not willing to accept, and what things are worth. Not every battle is worth dying on that hill. You have to understand, let people know up front where you stand on certain things and what you expect out of them. Because if not, they're just going to always cross those and cross that boundary line, especially women for that, because they're always going to try to test you. They're always going to try to see if you stand on what you say. If you don't eat, carrots, she's going to serve you carrots to see if you really don't eat them, right? That's her form of her testing you. And in terms of like the whole love language thing, like I get that, like men need to learn and understand their woman, and that's their sort of form of a boundary of something that is non-negotiable for them. But at the same token, you have to establish as a man, what are your respect languages? You know what I'm saying? Women have love languages, men have respect languages. You have to establish them right up front so they understand where you are. Respect my judgment, respect my abilities, respect my communication, especially when I'm telling you that something is non-negotiable with me. Also, respect me in public. And lastly, but not least, respect my assumptions and decisions, especially when it comes to interrelationship dynamics. Far too often, people are a little bit too passive and not assertive. And sort of that's where you get a lot of these spills that tend to happen, and they create a lot of these hiccups in relationships. So that's what my thoughts.
All right, be mad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot on this one. Honestly, men who nitpick, that puts men kind of in an emotional state. You're clearly in an emotional state if you're the one that's nitpicking. It's a lot of female tendencies. If you're the one doing a lot of nitpicking, it's one thing, having structure. It's one thing, having a woman understand, what you're about, what you're looking for. The only nitpicking I can see that makes sense is like, hey, you cook the food, the food's cold, can you warm it back up? You didn't quite clean up that well, we got to be mindful of this and that. I don't find that really nitpicking. I find it, it's a level of constructive criticism, that you can have in your relationship. And I think that's healthy, and that's having good communication. I don't call that nitpicking, but you just nitpicking in general, kind of like, how most women do. Again, I think those are female tendencies, and that puts you in an emotional state. And it's almost like some of those guys are really argumentative. Most men shouldn't argue with their women, with their women or woman. They shouldn't. I think it's one thing, hearing them interject and get all their things out, because they're usually in an emotional state, but you stating the facts and then eventually putting your foot down and say, hey, this is where we're at, this is what's going on. You come to a solution, boom, there it is. If there's a whole lot more than that, You know, that might not be, and it's consistent. That might not be the one that's supposed to be for you, I believe. But you shouldn't be in an emotional state dealing with a woman too often. You have to keep your frame, like we were talking about earlier, and you know, be able to communicate effectively. And then the don't have boundaries part, I mean, that's part of your frame. You know, if you have frame, you have boundaries, you have um, standards, and that's extremely important for any man to have.
Be mad and pretty much said, put your
I
foot
think
on
it's
that
just
neck.
demeanor too. Just it's not even what you say and the shit that you say and how the rules and all of that. Because if you can say all that, if you don't mean business, it don't fucking matter. Like it's your demeanor, like it's just who you are, and like just they gotta know, like, because you know some dudes be trying to give a woman a little pushback and then they get on punishment, then they just go right back. So this is like you wasn't for real business. Like I use myself because relationships are always looked at as married and boyfriend and girlfriend. Relationships are just period. It's not just the dating shit. I'm a high school teacher. The reason why a lot of kids, the reason why a lot of students are, the reason why a lot of adults are good teachers because they don't get the psychology behind the shit. They just get the rules and they don't understand the psychology of it. I'm up here with a panel full of men, so this is like my style. I'm set in my ways and I know what I know. Everything that I know is from experience. So I would never debate any of y'all. Only if somebody try to disrespect me, that's different. But I'm not passionate enough to try to prove to somebody what I think already. Like that's not my vibe. Like I like peace. I don't go back and forth with people at all. That's just who I am. So a woman who's like that ain't gonna fly. But a woman that's kind of laid back and chill, we gonna have a good time because she don't want the conflict either. So you see, we gonna match. So that's my little vibe.
I'm talking about, they got to be serious people, one, and they got to be men that actually have that frame in their relationship. If they don't have that, this is a waste of time. I mean, if you out here capping, saying, if you don't do this, well, I'm leaving, or you gonna have to get out, and they don't really mean it, and it's all cap. They don't want the smoke that's about to come from that woman. You don't have a spine, brother. Like that's not you're not serious. You're not a serious person. So I'm not talking to those guys. If you're not serious in your relationship and you don't have that type of umph in your relationship, that type of swag in your relationship, that type of control, that type of frame and respect in your relationship, then that's some other shit. And I can't get down with that, and I can't really speak to it. So,
all right, let me get Sir Hale in there. Go ahead, Sir Hale. What are your thoughts?
One, this is a really good statement question. Yeah, I do think that men who nitpick don't have boundaries. But here's what I think really is going on here. A lot of men are afraid to hurt women's feelings, and they'll say stuff, little nitpicky stuff, hoping she gets the big picture of what the real issue is, and he just keeps on nitpicking. It comes off as weak, but I think it's because so many men don't want to hurt the feelings of the woman that they're with. This comes back to what my brothers just said moments ago. When you have clear boundaries, you got to be okay with saying exactly what it is you mean and being standing on that. And if she can't respect that, and it's always it's one thing when you ask something that's difficult and it takes her growing into that. But for little small stuff that could just be changed with you just listening, that's a problem. And that to me means she doesn't respect you enough, that she's not hearing you, and that for the most part, she know you're probably not going nowhere anyway, right? So I think men got to be very clear, and I do think that men need to have clear boundaries. And I would even say this: even if you start a relationship and you didn't have them, when you start to see that you need them, you got to establish it right then. And either she's going to respect those boundaries you put in place, or she's not. And whatever she does will let you know whether or not she's the woman for you. So I think this statement is very true. Men who nitpick don't have boundaries.
I'm going to Purple Pill.
Or balls.
Yeah, kind of like what everybody's been saying. I really agree with all of it. But just to kind of go back to something else earlier, age plays a huge role in this. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I was nitpicky when I was young, but it's because my girls were trying to go out to the club, trying to go do all this. It's like, why are you wearing that? Why are you doing this? Like, you're more nitpicky when you have no boundaries. And when I was young, I didn't know how to. I have 4 sisters. You know how much I got called insecure and all types of shit because I tried to assert some kind of boundary or something by my family. Like, there's so many people that were, you know, leading me astray, and I had no boundaries. So it took me years for me to learn how to actually have that kind of boundary and to be able to have that kind of frame. I don't think you get it instantly. So yeah, I'll say that guys definitely nitpick a shit ton when they don't have boundary. I've seen it personally. So if there's but that's why it comes back to the age thing. I really believe that guys shouldn't, you know, get serious. I mean, if you get lucky and you find a girl when you're 18 to 23 and you find a girl that's only had 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 bodies, maybe, definitely go ahead, like snatch them up and try to get married early. But a lot of guys, man, for them to have a good frame and shit, they're not gonna have that confidence and shit until they're 30 plus. And like those, and like, yeah, guys that are young, if you're nitpicking, it's because you're too young and you haven't built up your confidence yet. You haven't accomplished shit yet. You need to go accomplish some more, build your frame, and then a girl's gonna walk into it, and it's not gonna be hard for you to hold it.
Hey, look, let me say this too, and this is just my vibe, but I would say for men, don't settle down until you travel, bro, because the women in different places are so different. Like, I couldn't imagine. I've been to New York, and I'm from Oakland, so I got Oakland vibes. So if you're from Oakland, you know we got a vibe. It's different. Like, so if I only live
Ghost
there,
ride the whip.
Yeah, we a different vibe.
Ghost ride the whip.
Or just like when you go to Houston, it's a whole different thing than Atlanta. Like, you know, like Atlanta chicks. You can go to Atlanta chicks, all the women out there, they got their shit together, they got a house because there's so many of them. You know, down here it's more gentrified. So when you date in the Bay Area now, it's a whole different thing, different types of people. You go to New York, then you go to Jersey, it's a different vibe. Miami over there, it's a different vibe. And then, you know, if you want to break out out the country, Germany, different vibe. Paris, different vibe. You know what I mean? Like, people be thinking niggas was in Paris is because it's some fly shit out there. No, because there's hella black cats in Paris walking around on TV and everything. Like, just knowing all of this shit, you know, Brazil, Colombia, even the cats that travel, man, I'd be disappointed. There's way more places than Colombia, Brazil, and Thailand. Bro, go to Africa, South Island, Morocco, man. You do all of this shit. I'm naming places that I've been. And that's what I like to do. Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia. That all that shit I named was from 2022 till right now. That ain't even lifetime shit. That's 1 year type of shit. So that keeps me fucking busy. And you just get to have a different appreciation of life when you see how other people live. It makes you more relatable. You know, it just everything, you know. So I would just say everybody just don't even just travel for, just like LA, different. Like, there are all these places, and it's like you can go there and some people don't. They just deal with the women who they either went to school with, high school with, college, or the dating apps. That's their only pool, bro. You got to be international, at least across the states, and just even if you just to experience it, man. And then when you find somebody that you like, you can just really appreciate it because you done been there. I done dealt with a lot of women, so when I do settle down, I know the value of her because I know the bullshit out there. Because it's a lot of bullshit, you know what I mean? So there you go. That's my monologue.
All right. Go ahead, Trigger Mike. I had to look up what this word nitpicking meant. It's not really in the Nigerian American vocabulary. So I have better context now. And you have to excuse me because I didn't know how much tequila I put in my margarita earlier. And I apologize if I'm slurring my words. And that's interesting that you say, Alfie, that you're from Oakland. Because somebody in the chat said you sound like Aaron O. He's from Oakland. And y'all sound exactly alike. That's crazy, y'all. Like,
look, just real quick. I remember, like, New York. I remember the first time because I'm like I'm a smooth Snoop type cat. So when I went to New York for the first time, my shit wasn't working. And then I was like, okay, because you see the movies, hey, yo, shorty. I'd be like, why the fuck they be doing that? And then I went there and I was just like, okay, now I see why they be doing that. Because you be trying to be cool with it. They gonna look at you upside down, walk right past you. I'm asking police officer questions. They ignoring me. I'm like, what the fuck? Y'all police. Y'all supposed to help me whenever I ask. So, you know, it's just, it'd be so different. Yeah, I remember it took me like a whole day to get one phone number because I was just like, man, what's up? Am I picking the wrong ones? It was blasting my ass because talk up. I'm just too smooth for their ass, man. So, but here it flow, so it's different.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think for the men who nitpick don't have boundaries, that is very true. I think men nitpick because they don't understand their nature is to be methodical, and that goes back to what someone said. We have an entire I can't even blame the men anymore. I can't. Because when you look, I mean, in certain communities, at the percentage of men that were raised solely by women, it is no surprise to anyone why they adopted so many of these behaviors. And the reason that is important to note, not to disparage women, is that if we wanted to see if men have naturally made some type of change over time, they have not. Because look at boys and men that were raised by their fathers, strong fathers, or we like to call them men's men, dudes that were assertive. These men are still out here upholding the torch for society, building things, driving trucks, drinking beer, spitting, just being the same people they've always been, behaving the same way they've always behaved, being accountable for the same things they have always been accountable. So it is the fact that so many men have the wrong example of the way they're supposed to process their feelings and interact with others. And Alfie hit it right on the head. All relationships are the same. I don't even want to teach my daughter or my son about romantic relationships. They need to treat all relationships in their life the same. The men nitpick today because they don't have an appropriate way to process anything that they're feeling, and they are using the habits and behaviors from the wrong gender, which is why they can't ever seem to get it right, which is why they attempt deletion more, which is why they have more successful deletions. It's because it's like a computer that has a glitch in it. All right. So our nature is to be methodical, man. So I'm gonna leave you with a solution tonight while I still have one piece of my brain working. And if you have to nitpick with the woman, I want you to understand that you might be with the wrong woman. It is a very strong sign that you're with the wrong woman. If you have to pick at her minor faults and what she's not doing, you are with the wrong woman. The one thing I can tell you from my little bit of experience of 4.5 years from marriage, in marriage, me and my wife are still in awe at how easy this shit is. It's just easy. I spent a lot of time learning with the wrong person who I continually had to just keep addressing. Am I doing it the right way? I would go to God in prayer, like, just show me what I need to be doing. Is it me? No, I was with the wrong woman, because women are agreeable. I need y'all to remember this. And the right woman will agree with you, not just with what you say, with everything about you. She strives to be agreeable. She agrees with your spirit. Her spirit agrees with yours. It's almost as if even if she thinks something's a bad idea, she even knows how to intervene correctly with you, right? So that is how easy it is when you're with the white woman. And I encourage, I'm slurring. I encourage every man to find the right woman. This is another point I wanted to make real quick. One of the reasons unruly women keep tripping is because unruly women keep winning. We keep delivering them wins. A lot of you guys are taking women who do not deserve it out in public, and you don't understand that you're showing men bad behavior. You're all on Love and Hip Hop, arguing with them and having these type of, bad interactions with them, which is teaching the younger men that this might be what they need to be doing. Absolutely not. Get rid of that woman and get you an easier road in life. My mic is muted.
All right. Is anybody else that hasn't gone yet that I might have skipped over?
Let me throw a solution out. So I agree with everybody. I mean, listen, the guy in the video, I think he's straight up talking to young generation men. Purple Pill touched on it. Trigger Mike touched on it. Even on his first video, because he was in his first video, I said that he's talking to a younger generation. In this video, men who nitpick, right? Trigger Mike just said they're getting, advice from the wrong gender. Well, who's doing that? But besides that, here's the thing. If you find yourself nitpicking kings and young kings, that's young princes who soon to be kings. If you find yourself nitpicking, Trigger Mike gave you an option just now. He gave you a solution. He said, you know what? If you find yourself nitpicking with a woman, you're with the wrong woman. He cannot believe how easy his marriage is because he picked the right girl. And if you find yourself in your relationship with your girlfriend, the chick that you dating, chick that you hanging out with, nitpicking on every little thing, where's the Airbnb gonna be? What airline are you guys gonna take? You know, what kind of are you gonna get the rental car from Hertz or Enterprise? You just nitpick on everything. What kind of cereal you gonna buy? Should you get brown eggs or white eggs? You with the wrong woman. The hard part about that is getting rid of the woman. That was a solution. A lot of guys is not going to just be able to get rid of the woman. So here's a solution for you. I'm a money guy. I'm a money dude. Socioeconomics. Does everybody understand the term socioeconomics? It describes you based on your education, your income, and the type of work you have. That's what socioeconomics is. And that's why we talk about where are you on the socioeconomic level? How smart are you? What kind of education do you have? How much money are you making? And where do you work? And then there's also the community aspect of it, the social support. How many friends? How big is your network? How many people is in your phone that you can call if you need something? Do you know some attorneys? Do you know some doctors? Do you know some construction people? Do you know a few plumbers? Do you know some electricians? You know some crypto guys? Do you know some computer geeks? How big is your network of people when you need to get shit done? That's socioeconomics. The solution to nitpicking, if you find yourself nitpicking on stuff, especially with a woman, is to increase, and I believe Purple Pill will probably agree with this, increase your socioeconomic status. Have you guys ever heard of fuck you money? Fuck you money is where you make so much money that in case your employer trips, fuck you, I'm out. In case your boss acts up or says something that you don't like, I'm here working at this job because I got fuck you money. I got streams of income in other places that I don't really need to be here. See, if you don't got no fuck you money, your boss says something that you don't like, you can't just say fuck you. You got to be like, damn, you got to suck it up and drive on because you need that job. But when you got fuck you money, you say fuck you and you move on. Well, you want to have that kind of situation in your relationships. You want to have where you find yourself nitpicking with a woman, you need to be like, fuck you, I'm out. Eddie Murphy said it, get your shit and go. But you can't say get your shit and go when your socioeconomic level is too low.
Nope.
And that's why we encourage young men to work on themselves. We're going to drill that. We're going to beat that horse. Get yourself together, fellas, because the more you increase yourself on a socioeconomic scale, the more fuck you power you have when it comes to the women that you pick. And you won't tolerate the shit. You won't tolerate the shit that you once did when you was on a lower socioeconomic scale. So get yourself together. Get yourself together, fellas. That's the solution to nitpicking, because you'll find yourself never nitpicking whatsoever, because you're not going to tolerate and want to even hear that shit once you level up. That's all I got on that.
Huh.
Right. Anybody?
That might have been the first standing ovation anybody ever got on King Talk.
Yeah, straight up.
Does anybody have any closing thoughts? Go ahead. Sorry.
Clip it. I was
Can't
dope.
drop the mic on that. Yeah, we can on that one. I ain't got nothing else.
Just want to say thank you guys for tuning in to King Talk tonight. Make sure you follow everybody on their individual platforms. Trigger Mike has a platform. You can also catch him in the morning. He'll be talking about our Black people overly violent. And he'll also be discussing if DNA testing should be mandatory. Make sure you guys follow Sir Hell as well. Also has a YouTube channel. Shannon Ross has a YouTube channel. You found him here. Louise is an awesome designer. Alfie has a lot of things going on. Make sure you guys go to his Instagram page, and it has links to everything. Be Madden. He's a superstar out here, so you might have seen him in your favorite magazine. So make sure y'all give him a follow and check him out. Purple Pill Pod, based off in Dallas. Always looking for talent to come through. So make sure you guys give him a follow and check him out. Hink in the Basement is doing some big things too on his YouTube channel. It's a real good dude right here, man.
Can I say one thing, Lapeef, real quick?
That all depends.
Everybody in the stream, if you follow me and tell me you was in the stream, I'll hit you up with a free audio book. You know what I'm saying? On the house, give you that work. We got kids books, we got inspirational books, we got stories, we got books on travel, everything about the brand. I got a sculpting book. So don't think I don't have what you need, because I got everything. Tell me what's from the stream, I hit you off. Don't tell me you don't read. I'm gonna hit you off with the audio. It don't matter. You put it in on the whip. Free 99. So just tell me who's from the stream.
You gotta give us your whole. What's your whole Instagram? It's cut off.
Oh, it's international.afi, and then I got the other one, AFI.
Hold on, I'm gonna fix it.
Yeah, Afi Kingdom Books. Afi Kingdom Books. So it's two. It's the book one, and
yeah, right there. There you go.
And if y'all want to tap in with me, man, I'm a DM away. I respond to everybody. And
hey, Lapeef, I just want to say something real quick too.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say shout out to everybody. Thank y'all so much for like letting me come on. This is my first time to do this, and I look up to like a lot of y'all guys a lot. And I've just been like Shannon. I like take so much of your stuff and like I've used it on my show. Like I really look up to you, bro. Like, but no, it feels really good to be with some OGs. And I wrote down a bunch of notes from y'all, and I'm just happy to learn from y'all, man. Thank you for letting me be a part of this, Lapeef.
No problem, man. No problem, man. All right. Well, make sure you guys hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel again. Support each other. Support everybody on the platform. I want to thank you guys for your perspectives and your time this evening, gentlemen. And we out, man. We out.
All right. Appreciate you.
I should catch Trigger Mike in the morning.